Back off me. Go on. Back off me! Boom! Back off me! Great ball! It's 2. We don't miss those! We don't miss those, baby! What the hell? What the fuck? It's Bergomi. It's Bergomi. The homie Bergomi. Rummy! How'd you like that, baby? I love it. Oh, the king. Oh. Rat time. Where's my rats? Where's my rats? Oh! Just for you. Just for you! Color! 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 Who is it? Robbie! Robbie! No, it's Honus! Yeah, some of that. What a tackle. What a tackle, lads. What? Oh my! One day. Oh, look at Tanker, lads. Hunting. Boom! Sit down! First time! Boom! You're crazy, lads. You're crazy. OC with another 30 euro bomb, 35 euro bomb. Lads, you're absolute nuts, man. You're nuts, man. 27 players left. This is it, man. The dumbbells out. The dumbbells out. Double pack? Oh, it's a 2-on-1 after you! Get in! Get in! Oh, Messi! Ball in the collar! Oh! Oh! It's the king with the finish of the century! Oh! Oh, where am I? Look at the hair, lads. Look at the hair. Look at this. Look at that, man. Look at this. What about this style? Look at the pattern. Holy moly. Where's my hat? Where's my hat? I'll fix myself in a second, lads. I'll fix myself. Hold on. Let me get back down here. And let me get into the game. All right. Here we go, boys. Today is just going to be literally rebuilding all our cards, man. A lot has changed in the game. I can show you examples of what's changed if you want. We can kind of see. I mean, if you guys haven't played the game, or if you're struggling with the game, or if you're struggling with building cards now, if you've got new cards, we're going to show everything, okay? Just give me 2 seconds, man. I'm back. What's up, lads? Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, this is going to be a chill stream, lads. One sec. Today we won't be playing as many games. We'll test out a few things, yes, but we won't be playing a huge amount of games. For what's coming on Monday, if you guys are wondering, we do obviously have Neymar, Maldini. I'll have a video on that soon, but that's what's coming Monday, if you guys are wondering. That's the pack that's coming Monday. If you guys are wondering if that's worth going for, we'll talk about that as well today. Listen, it's just a chill stream, lads. We don't usually stream on Saturday. So we're going to do it live. We're going to do a video as well, and I'll probably cut that video up and make like a proper YouTube video of it as well with tight editing and stuff. But yeah, I mean, listen, the game has changed, right? The best example I could probably give you is a couple of clips I have yesterday, right? So I'll go into my media gallery here and I'll show you a couple of clips, right? So the first clip is going to be this one here. Just watch how this play develops, right? So while everyone's getting into the stream, man, R-Power, welcome in, bro, over on Twitch. Welcome in to everybody. Egyptinia, welcome in. Gary, welcome in. Stephen, welcome in. I want to show you a couple of clips, right? So in this clip here, you're going to see a couple of ways of how the game has slightly changed, but how it's kind of stayed the same in ways as well, right? So for example, in this situation here with Collar, this is just a simple 1-2. 1-2s are still working. They're just not as effective as they were before. Now that's an example of them working. So they're not completely nerfed. I've seen people say like, oh, I can't 1-2 anymore. I can't 1-2 spam. What Konami have done with this update, they have literally addressed and tried to nerf through the middle spam and through the middle breakdowns of play, right? So they've made breakdowns of play through the middle slightly more in favor of the defenders. This is an example of when it doesn't work and you get a goal from normal build-up play that has been working since eFootball 22 with Collar. Now, there's a couple of factors in this. There's a couple of factors, right? Is it because Collar is physically stronger than Saliba? I mean, you could say that. You could say that. But I just think that the way the game is at the moment is that, like, it's probably 75% of a chance, maybe 80%, 85% of the chance that the defender is going to win this ball. It just so happens to be that Collar wins this one and the AI switches off. Now, the reason for this on closer inspection is probably because he slide tackles with Tony Adams manually. Watch Tony Adams here instead of Saliba. He actually slides with Tony Adams and switches from Saliba to Adams to back to Saliba. And it's that little bit of mistake that costs him. If he just switches to Saliba there, or lets the AI, if he picks one or the other. And that's what I've been saying. The game is kind of, the game is kind of, they haven't come out and said, listen, we know that a lot of people are using 1-2 passes. There's 3 ways to attack in this game, very, very simply, that the AI really struggle with. It's super cancel and double touch and breaking animations is 1. So whatever you do that, if it's fake shots, if it's super cancels, if it's test cancels, if it's double touch or ball roll, anything to break the defender's animation, that's one way. The second way is triangles. So, you know, you pass with your DMF into your striker, that example there. This is the example, the second example here, right? As I just showed you with Collar. We get the ball back here. We split it to our defender. Vieira is our DMF. He pops a 1-2 after beating his man here. He pops a 1-2 to the centre forward. That's the first part of the triangle, or a touch and go, you can call it. It's back in for the return from the man that lays it off and touches and goes, and then Collar ends up with finishing it. That's the second way of breaking down, right? So the first way is super cancel breaking animations. The second way is touch and go triangles. And the third way was always the true ball, where it was just a simple true ball, not a touch and go or a triangle. It was just a simple true ball from midfield. So if you look at this situation here, right, And this is not going to be, you know, a gameplay specific me pushing rank stream, okay? We did loads of streaming yesterday where we were literally just playing games and games and games. This is pretty much talking about V5.2. If you notice this here, this is kind of how a lot of goals are now being scored in V5.2, which is kind of going back to, I would say, maybe V4.0, with still a lot of defense being a little bit too hard. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Coutinho. I agree, bro. It's not as it's not nerfed. Capello is not nerfed. True balls are not nerfed, so to speak. It's just that the defenders are a little bit more, are gonna win more balls than they used to before. They're not ball watching. Like, I think the update has been good. I just still think that the core issues with the interceptions and the lack of options you have when you're passing is the bigger problem. Like, I don't think they even really needed to touch these issues that much compared to maybe taking out the player freeze and giving more variety with the passing. But this is a very simple way of build-up play. We turn over Declan Rice in midfield here by crowding him out. He has nowhere to pass. Collar touches and goes, continues to run on. Collar is after starting this whole thing again. Beckham waits for the run, and then who's going to end it? It's Collar again for a simple tap-in. Now, what you might say as well, what has changed, right? Well, this is a good example here of what has changed. You can see the acres of space that you have here. You can see the separation between the player, and you can see the finish. That hasn't changed at all. Like, realistically, that hasn't changed. And these clips that you're seeing here, you know, spamming, you know, goals, whatever, okay? However, if you go back out here, and I'll go into my free-to-play that we were playing yesterday, and I'll show you some clips from this. So this is probably a better example yesterday when we were playing our free-to-play of the defense, buffs and nerfs. Not even nerfs, but this is kind of where we're going to be rebuilding our players a little bit more than we used to before, right? So example number 1 here, he tries a touch and go, it's not tracked, we get a block. Now we're on the defense here. Look at the space we create here with Lookman, touch back into Kakatani, beat the man, and then we're through. So we're through here, right? He switches to Militao, but we're actually through. We're in full sprint, we're ready to rock, we're ready, we've already picked where we're going to put the ball. But this is 5.2 in a nutshell. Look at the gap that's closed and look at the distance that's closed. That's what's being tweaked. Right there. This was not really possible before this update. Now you'll say, oh, Militao's a beast, but that is a speed boost, man, for the defenders that they had taken out of the last update. And now they've brought it back in, they've reverted it back. So that is clear proof there and clear example of actually what's going on behind the hood. We had loads of examples yesterday with the free-to-play players. Now, if you have a Mario or Eto'o or Rummy or Gareth Bale or one of these super, super fast players that's like 99, I'm probably not getting caught there. But Militao is catching him there, not from stats. He's catching him because of the way the game plays. You know? So that's basically, and there's loads of examples with this that I could show you. There's loads of examples. Look, where we can show you. I'm not exactly sure which clips they are, so I'll have to watch them and talk through. But this is another example here with Canu. You're expecting Canu to be caught there. But look at the speed here. Even when we lose, even when this defender goes in, right? This is a big problem where I think it's a little bit seen as more of an issue. Yo, Vazclav, welcome in, bro, from Czech Republic. Thank you, bro. This is something as well that has happened, right? This is something that's happened. I'm not expecting Canu, right, to beat Cannavaro here. Of course you're not, because Canu is quite slow and he's bulky and he's tall. Cannavaro is a rocket, you know? But look at the reaction when I absolutely rip this opponent. Now, this opponent, right, has been absolutely sold the dummy by Park Ji-sung. He slides in, but even though he slides in and I should be able to beat him, he recovers quicker than I can attack. Watch. See? So that's what I'm saying, man. That's the tweak that they've done about the speeds. You know, I've done nothing really wrong there. In fact, I've actually, you know, maybe attacked nearly too well there. I should have probably just, you know, ran in a straight line. I probably overthought it. But that's what they've done, man. They haven't really tweaked the speed so much. It's more it's more than that they have buffed the speed of defenders, regardless of their stats in certain situations. Now, I can show you loads of examples here, man, in the same match. I can show you loads of times where it happens, loads of times where it doesn't happen. But the strikers are definitely don't put as much distance between the players as they used to before. That's probably the biggest thing that I've noticed with it. Now, that's not to say that you can't leave people for dead either. You can. And if you're defending against somebody that doesn't know how to defend, or if you're attacking against somebody that doesn't know how to defend, obviously it's going to be, it's going to be easier for you to find these gameplay clips and find these examples of ripping people and seeing the gameplay. But as you go up the divisions, all that's going to happen is that you're going to be coming up against defenders that have no weakness now, So again, here's another example here with Bastoni. Now, this is in our favor here. This is a traditional Capello through ball, right, with Valverde. Now, I've made the mistake of rushing him with Tony Adams. He gets the pass off. It's a split pass. He's actually a mile ahead of me. Look, mile ahead of me. But what happens is Kylian Mbappe, pre-patch, is scoring that goal. I'm not catching him. I have to foul him. But what happens is he takes a pass, he takes a touch, and I get my body across him. Now, I quite like that. I do quite like that balance. I just think that the speedy strikers have lost a bit of their zip. You know what I mean? That's the biggest problem, man. In my opinion, that is the biggest thing. It does... Listen, right? What they've essentially done is, instead of like tweaking the Capello through ball and having a bit of nuance there, they've literally taken a hammer to it and just blown away that part of the gameplay. And that kind of makes it more difficult to analyze the gameplay, because you can see it visibly there, but there's other variables going on as well as to like, what is this guy's build with Mbappe? You know what I mean? What speed is he? What speed is Bastoni? But essentially all that boils down to is that what they've tried to address in this patch is literally this breakdown of play. Do you know what I mean? Now, you will say the user could do this different. He could do R3 flick. He could do this. He could do that. But I mean, without looking for any reason for this is essentially what they've actually addressed in this patch. So with that in mind, right? When you have either a free-to-play squad, like we have on our other account, or the best of the best of the best like this, right? It basically just means that you can now place centre-backs that have been pretty much outdated and that have been literally, unplayable for the last couple of weeks. You forgot tiki-taki. They destroyed central play. I don't think that they've destroyed central play. Yo, Sue Deep, it's not being streamed, as far as I know. Attackers should be quick. The ones that are quick, once they have the ball between their feet and try to win with ball, their speed should get nerfed. Yeah, well, I mean, that's it, man. That's the thing, like. Skills can work so far, yeah. I've already said that. Like, double touch ball roll, super cancels, and fake shots will break the animations of a defender, yes. But I do think that these here, right? And I know that this is boring for a lot of people. But if you guys are wondering, before we get into actually look at the game, right? And actually look at what's going on with the game and the breakdown of the play and the breakdown of stuff, I suppose it does raise the question, when designing or developing a football game, should the attackers be favored or should the defenders be favored? If the attackers are favored, like they were in the last patch, right? You're going to score a lot of goals. There's going to be a lot of goals scored, right? If the defenders are favored, as it is right now, okay, you're going to have people complaining that they can't attack effectively through the middle. Now, I still think through the middle is better than out wide. I just feel like that you have to be a little bit more clinical when you get a chance now. It's very, very difficult, man. I honestly, I don't envy any, like FIFA has the same issue. They make the game too fast. People that are happy to attack and score 5 goals a game are happy with it. People that like to defend and keep it tight at the back want it to be, defensively capable. You can't have it both ways, man. Like, you just can't. You can offline, but not online. Lads, please don't be fighting in the chat, man. Keep it polite. Keep it. If you have an opinion, man, you don't need to get offended with each other or get in your feelings, lads. Keep it polite, man. You don't have to accuse everybody just because, you know, if somebody wants to play 90% possession with one shot a game, you know what I mean, and play pep ball and play possession, fine. If somebody wants to Capello spam and, you know, have a 30 passes a game with a 20% pass completion and get 4 shots on target and 4 rebounds, I mean, it doesn't matter, man. The game, whoever wants to play the game, however they want to play it, it's irrelevant. We're just talking about the actual, you know, stream is laggy. Really? Maybe restart your device, bro. Stream looks good for me. Keep it clean, man. There's no point. I mean, honestly, like, this is a good example here, right? Of Tevez, right? This is a good example here. I actually make a mistake and I can't get back fast enough, and Tevez has the speed boost to get past me. So that's still in the game. You know what I mean? That's still in the game. Like, this is, you know, look at the difference here, right? With the breakdown. So this is the first breakdown here that I'm going to show you. Look. This is the first thing I'll show you here, right? This Tevez goal. This pretty much sums up V5.2 right now. That, like, we all have an opinion on the game, right? We all have an opinion on what's fixed or what's broken or what's working or what's not working. But there is some definitive stuff that you can't argue either, that there isn't opinion that comes into it, that it's actually factual. And this is what Konami have tried to address with V5.2 right here. Now, I can show you multiple examples of this. Multiple examples. But this is essentially what it all boils down to, right here. I don't think so, Seb, because I've never spammed Capello through the middle, and I've played with Capello. Like, my setup, this is what we need to get away from, man. Like, there's more than one ways to skin a cat. Did you ever hear that saying, man? Just because somebody sets up with Capello, with a 4 at the back, with a 4-2-1-3, doesn't mean that they don't vary it and play out wide, right? Doesn't mean, like, it's everything's not as simple as it looks on the game, man. Do you know what I mean? This is what we need to get away from, man. Is that, like, you see somebody playing with Capello, and you're like, oh, this guy is just a Capello rat, and he might have 75% possession. You know what I mean? He might be just a baller, and the reason he's using Capello is because he wants to stay tight at the back, and he's trained his entire squad for the Capello boost. You know what I'm saying? True pass quality is tied to how players make their runs because the passes are assisted. With the recent changes, so players accelerate faster and close down space. Egyptinho, I honestly think it isn't even as deep as that. I know exactly what you're saying, but, like, this example, I think literally Stevie Wonder can see what's happening here with the gameplay. You know what I mean? You can see here, right? We actually, this would be a goal before, like, the patch this week. There's no doubt in my mind, man. This would be a goal in V4, in V5.1. Do you argue with me on that? That's fine. I'm open to having a debate, right? I say that this, yo, Boz, what's up? Ron, what's up? I say, right, that this is a goal, pretty much a goal before this patch, right? Okay? You can say, no, Barry, I think you'll still be caught there. You think this, I still think this. Brilliant. Okay, fine. That's fine. We can have an actual debate about it. But what's not debatable, in my opinion, is the actual increase in acceleration that the defenders have between his player and between mine. So watch this play out here now before you make a, you know what I mean? Watch this play out before you make a comment on it, right? Watch this in real time, right? Kakatani gets the ball. We splice it through to Kaku. Militao is going to absolutely blitz me. Blitz me. Now, Militao's a fast player, but so is my guy Kaku. He gets on the run. I do a similar space leave for him. He spreads it in. And Kimi kind of has, like, this slowdown. So what has essentially happened there? Yo, Rich, what's up, brother? What has essentially happened there is I have got a speed decrease here, right? and his defender has got a speed boost, right? So Militao has got a speed boost, and my center forward has got a speed decrease in this, or Kaku. And you flip it, right? You flip it. Tevez gets a speed boost, and my defender gets a decrease. Look, you can see it, man. You can see Kimmy pull back a little bit. You can see him. Now, we can wind this down and we can analyze this to within an inch of its life. And I know that there'll be people, oh, what's Kimmy's build? What's Kimmich's build? Oh, what's Tevez's build? It doesn't matter, man. It's a gameplay thing. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's a gameplay thing. Yo, JJ, what's up, bro? Or Soba. JJ Sobak PE 2252. Is that your name? I'll just call you JJ. But that is essentially what's happened here. That really sums up V5.2. So look, I'm going to show you a couple of clips here, and I'm going to make this a video out of it, right? So we'll do a recording on this, and then we're going to train a load of cards. So this right here is a prime example of what's changed in V5.2. If you guys are struggling with understanding the speed of the game now, the defender's getting a speed boost, attackers getting a speed decrease in certain situations, watch this clip play out from our stream, where I get the ball with Lookman, Kakitani splits the defense with a beautiful pass, and you can see the speed boost given to Militao here, who is a fast defender, but I mean, he's not Roadrunner, he's not Usain Bolt. You flip the script, you flip the switch, and on the other side, my defender gets a speed decrease and his attacker gets a speed boost. So that's two examples there that you're going to see. Now, we can show you multiple examples of this in the same game. Here, like with this, right? Sorry, this one here. This is another example here where the speed has been slightly altered to change things, and slightly altered because the defenders have gotten a lot more explosive and a lot more acceleration based. You can see Cannavaro, it's a manual slide tackle that goes in, but before I can actually attack and react and actually get past him, he not only slide tackles quicker than me, he slide tackles, gets back up, and is ahead of me in the sprint before I can turn him, even though he's on the ground a split second ago. So that's kind of the biggest example of I can show you as to changes in the game. We've loads of clips here. We can go through them in a lot more detail than I'm going through here. But essentially, that is what it boils down to. Now, obviously, you can still score your blitzes and you can still score this. They haven't really touched other aspects of the game. It's mostly the pace and the speed. And it's mostly that when these spam balls are going through, such as this, they're not going through at as much of a rate as they were before. So this is an example of a kind of a spam through ball that was getting a little bit more effective as the game went on. With V5.2, it's not as effective now. It's more about being patient, building your attacks. But the problem I think that they've found is that, like, even if you make the right run, the attackers are just defending and being a lot more aggressive. All right, obviously that's a good goal. But with this in mind, right, and as we go back out here, and lads, get in touch, get involved, man, if you want to see a player, right? With this here, lofted pass is the same, bro. It's the exact same. We showed an example at the start. If you notice, right, before we continue on this, right, if you notice and you go into yesterday when we were playing, right, if you go in yesterday, right, and go into eFootball League, we did this yesterday when we had a look at the end of the stream, right? We actually ended the stream yesterday on, I think it was like a 7-win streak, apart from 1 draw, right? But if you notice now, okay, that obviously now they've added this brand new analysis tool where you're able to analyze yourself against any other player in the game, right? So if we go in and we look at the world #1 right now, that is the top rank in eFootball, and we compare our analysis against him, you will see that the game has slightly changed compared to where it was before in terms of how the top guys that are getting multiple victories in a row and are playing the game at its most, meta and most effective tactic that works, you will see that the types of goals that they're scoring, the types of chances that they're creating, it has slightly changed, right? The biggest thing I've noticed is the amount of pressure that a lot of the top guys are using. You can see here, the call for pressure. That is a huge one. 40 versus 1. So I am doing a lot of manually defending. I'm doing a lot of matchup. I've noticed that a lot of people are not using matchup anymore. This guy's using 41% of matchup. I'm using 70. This is the world number one. And obviously me, I'm nearly using twice as much matchup as him. I think that they've definitely, matchup, a lot of people that are pushing rank, they don't use matchup and they don't use the manual defense when the AI is in a better position than them. And they can just leave the AI position themselves to win the ball back. Even if it's just getting a leg in, if it's getting anything to rebound the ball or get an interception. They're not trying to win the ball clean the whole time. They're letting the play develop to a point where it's like, right, the AI is set. I'm going to chase back with my DMF and I'm going to let the AI step into that position. Then they'll switch to him and they'll start a counter-attack. But that is a good thing, right? Now, I will say that a lot of these guys with the squads that they're using, a lot of this information that we're talking about here is kind of obsolete because literally every single player that is in the top maybe 2,000 or 3,000 in the game is going to have defenders that have 90 speed and 90 acceleration if they want it. What I would say is that where the game has opened up a little bit is for the likes of these old school cards like the Licht. Defensive awareness is now the most effective and most valuable stat for defenders, in my opinion. That's what I think it is, man. I just feel like that, that the speed now and the acceleration isn't really making that much of a difference compared to what it was before. You know what I mean? That's my biggest takeaway from the game over the last couple of weeks. Or the last couple of days, last couple of games. I did see the Arsenal result, yeah. Can we agree that the difference between us and top guys is their ability to read the game and make better judgment? I would say, honestly, man, I would say that the difference between an average player and like somebody that is not pushing rank and the top guys that are pushing rank, the difference, I would say the biggest difference is, man, is the time that they're playing the game, that's spent on the game, grinding the game and grinding results. I would say that the big separator between a skill gap between somebody is not turning over the ball. I wouldn't say it's the reading and the play, because if you watch anybody, man, if you watch world rank number 1 or you watch any esports, the big factor that they don't do is turn the ball over in dangerous positions, man. They'll make mistakes, yes, and they'll misplace passes. They'll do the wrong thing. They'll hit crossbars. They'll hit posts because that's part of the game. You can't control it at the time. But the biggest thing that the boys at the very top, tippity top, they literally do not lose the ball in dangerous positions. If they're going to lose the ball, they will literally boot it out for a corner, a throw in, or hoof it up the pitch. That's the biggest thing. I always see it, man. If I watch a good player, right? If I watch a top rank, and I've been at esports events, I've commentated on esports events, I've done analysis on esports events, and they all sing from the same hymn sheet, right? If they're coming up against somebody that has a similar skill level to them or a better skill level to them, they literally do not do anything silly. They're just locked in to focus on not giving away a cheap goal. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Dom. Like ranked people will always find a way. They're not looking to have an enjoyable experience a lot of the time. They're looking to win at all costs. And that has to be admired or looked down on depending on what you get out of your video gaming. But if you are training, I would say, right, if you're training a kind of a slower base center back, right, this would be the best advice I could give for anyone that's free to play. Right, look, there is no advice needed, lads. Honestly, there's no advice needed. Pepe the Pig could advise you how to train Lilian Thuram, lads. There's no weakness. He hits 100 plus in every stat defensively, 90 plus jumping and physical contact, and 85 minimum acceleration, which is faster than a lot of midfielders. It's an insane card. If you've got Thuram, man, and you need advice on how to train him, I would say you need to start playing, Power Wash Simulator or something. Because, I mean, it's so easy to train these cards. They're literally, you cannot train Thuram wrong. Like, it's impossible. But this is for more what it is, man, here with the Licht, right? You will look at the Licht and you'll say, 61 acceleration. I've seen faster grannies in their wheelchairs. But De Ligt won't be caught out of possession too much with the new gameplay, with V5.2. Another meta beast is Tony Adams. We haven't even given Tony Adams an actual booster here, but we can. Like, if we give him a booster here, right, and we are able to give him a booster of our choosing, which I would say that we'll probably go with either speed and defensive engagement, or else speed, this one, probably shutdown, right? That's going to give us a 95 defensive awareness and an 85 speed. Now, Konami have already talked about this. This is not me just pulling stuff out of the air. Konami have already addressed the defensive awareness changes. So in the news and in this that they've actually talked about, they talk about the actual defending here, where they say we've primarily adjusted how defending is balanced in relation to true balls, and they've said that raise the minimum speed exhibited by players who have low player stats in speed and acceleration, and made adjustments so that the player stat defensive awareness now impacts acceleration levels when marking an opponent. So what I would say again, if I was to show you an example, right, of any of these clips that we're seeing here, okay, any of these clips here, if I was to show you an example of this is what we're talking about here, right? It's the separation between centre backs and fast players, right? I know that this guy isn't an absolute rocket, like he's not 100 speed or 100 acceleration, I get that. But I mean, I'm a good yard or two ahead of him, and I just get eaten by Militao. And this Militao, as far as I know, was the player of the week one, which is fine, but it just seems to be like this artificial speed boost has come back for the defenders. And that's what it is. So with that in mind, if you are training, I'll give you 3 bits of advice on it, right? And this is going to be a fairly lengthy video. But if you have a centre back, I would say that the brand new, it's not a brand new, but I would say that you could tweak all of their builds. This is going to favour some players like Maldini. I know that there's a brand new Maldini coming out on Monday. It's this Maldini above my head, right? And he's not going to have this issue because he's going to be slightly faster. But if you've got the old school Maldini, the old school Maldini, 80 speed and 80 acceleration will be enough if you get 99 defensive awareness and 99 tackling with him. You've still got everything else where you need to go. So before, Maldini would just not be able to compete with the likes of Thuram. If you look at the discrepancy here. So you're talking about Thuram has 91 speed versus 80 speed for Maldini, and 85 acceleration versus 80. Like, that is a big separator before this update patch. With V5.2, it's not so much a separator anymore. So Tony Adams is now a beast. A lot of the old school centre backs, I think if you have, right, if we were to take a look, right, at this centre back, Thuram is not even worth talking about. He's too powerful. He's too strong. The same as any of the recent legends that they've brought out, where you can get the likes of Cannavaro. Any of them can go to 90 speed, 85 acceleration. Like, for example, with Cannavaro, there is genuinely no reason, right, to decrease Cannavaro's speed to 85 because there's nowhere else to put it. If you put it into defending and you bring him to 15 defending points, I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, but it's not going to make a massive, massive difference to the card because he's already maxed out his defensive awareness. And this was the free Cannavaro that you could get. But he's still, even at that, he has 85 speed, he has 85 acceleration. Heading, again, Seb, I don't pay any heed to heading because 90% of people are going to attack on the ground. Literally don't. Tony Adams has the same issue with heading. He's only got 80 heading. I am telling you that you do not need a heading stat anymore in the game unless you're coming up against the odd person that is either going to spam collar or spam bullet header. And if that happens, even if you've got a player with 99 heading and 99 jump, such as Rio Ferdinand or any of those, it's not going to really make that much of a difference. Van Buyten is another good shout as well, right? So Van Buyten was a good card at the time. I would potentially probably leave his dexterity at that because there's nowhere else to put it. But I mean, you have Van Buyten in to do a job for you. I would like to get it to 95 attack or defensive awareness if you could. The only way you're going to do that is if you take down his speed a little bit, which you could do now. If you wanted to reduce it to 75, you could do that. And you could get his dexterity to 75. So that would be 75 and 75. And then you'll have one more to put into this if you take it from his aerial strength. That's going to max out his defensive awareness at 95, 99 tackling, 91 aggression. I'd say that the new threshold for defenders now is if they can't go to 85 speed and acceleration, such as Thuram or such as Cannavaro, I would say max out their defensive awareness as high as it can possibly go and max out their physicality. That's what I would say. So we're going to do all of these cards, right? And we're going to show you the progression. Any cards that you guys want, get in touch. But we're going to start with a lot of these cards, right? This is the free Cannavaro. This is probably where I would go with him right now, okay? So you've got 3 into dexterity, 6 into lower body strength, 4 into aerial strength, and either, depending on how much manual defense that you do, because you have the luxury of either picking between a 90 speed, right, or 103 defensive awareness, I would potentially take 3 points off that. I would max out, sorry, I'd take 2 points off that. I'd max out his defensive stats here, where there's nowhere left for defensive awareness to be risen. So it's going to be maxed at 103 with this card. The only thing you could do is add 2 more to have his defensive engagement at 99. I don't think it's needed. He's got 95 jump. We can add a little bit more, but if you want to go this route and get him to 88 speed, you can do that. That is probably the build I would go with him if you wanted to go that route. And maybe 1 more onto physical contact. Now, obviously, with the booster there as well, we've given him shutdown. But that is what I would be doing. But again, you don't have to go 88 speed. Same with Tony Adams. Tony Adams, this is the perfect build for him now with the new V5.2 meta. But it requires 1 extra step than I have done already because I don't have the boosters. This is his build. 3 into dex, 10 into lower body, 7 into aerial, 12 into defending, and then 1 into goalkeeper 1. And then you're also going to have to give him a shutdown booster, which is going to raise his speed to 85. Don't mind his acceleration. You don't need it. And we're going to give him another shutdown booster here, which is going to be a double dip. And that's going to improve his speed to 85 and his defensive awareness to 95. Van Buiten. I've seen a few people struggle to build him. I would go with a 75-75 build for him with acceleration and speed. And then max out his defensive stats as much as you can. So again, 8 into dex, 7 into lower body, 2 into aerial strength, and 13 into defending. The likes of Maldini. This is an old school Maldini. Again, very, very simple. 80 into his speed and acceleration, 5 into dex, 5 into lower body, 9 into aerial strength, and 12 into defending with 1 left over for goalkeeper 1. The new Maldini, as I said, that is coming out is going to be slightly different because you won't need to... You know, V5.2 isn't going to make a huge change if you've got a God Squad. Any of these players, like Rio Ferdinand, again, he has no real weakness in him because you can go 90 speed and you can go 80 acceleration, right? There is no weakness with him. Like, you can't, like, for example, if you want to max out Rio Ferdinand at 85 speed, which, again, is very viable if you want to leave it at that, there's nowhere else really to put the defensive stats in because you're only going to get in a max of 2. Yes, you can max him out. But with this booster that we've given him, we're not going to, you know, we're going to have to change his booster and give him a defending booster. So I wouldn't worry too much about it once his defensive awareness is at 100. Especially for the type of player Rio is. I would probably go either with the lower body strength at 90, as you're seeing here. You don't need acceleration past 85. That is what I would say, man. If you want to, you can. If you want to go like 82 and 89 and change his booster, you can. But I wouldn't. Personally speaking, I would probably leave it at that, which would be a 3 into dex, 9 into lower body strength, 7 into aerial strength, 13 into defending. But I do think that V5.2, the biggest reason for it, as I said here, right? Let me show you. We'll do forwards in a second, lads. We'll work our way through. This is the best example. This is the best example that I have, lads. Is the speed boost versus a non-speed boost. Tevez gets the speed boost here. We've already showed that clip. And this one. This is probably the best example here of why you don't need Cannavaro with 90 speed. Because look, he's already able to get back up with the changes they've made to V5.2. Makes a slide tackle. I've him beaten. Park Ji-sung is not a slouch. You know, he's not a lazy card. He's a fast card. But Cannavaro still makes a slide, reacts quicker, gets up and wins the ball before I can react. Before I can say peekaboo, he's got the ball. So that is why I would say that don't worry too much about defenders right now with V5.2. The only difference I would say is probably for mid-tier defenders. So for example, if you've got any of these cards that I'm showing you here, right? Any of these cards, like Araujo is probably a good example as well. I know Araujo, a lot of people talk about him. He's got 90 speed, 90 acceleration. But the one thing that was lacking with him, I think, was his actual defensive awareness. You're not having to put too much into his speed or dexterity here. You know what I mean? So you've got to go, you can't, like if you take 5 off of this and you put him down to 85 speed or 4 down, sorry, you're only realistically freeing up one spot if you want to. You know what I mean? 97, 99, 99, 97. So is it worth taking his 90 speed off him? Potentially not, no. But you could do it. You don't need, I don't think you need to go faster than 80 acceleration in any centre back at all in the game now. That's just my opinion. I have my Berdesi with 90 speed. Doesn't seem what? Yo, Rusty Bot, welcome in as well. Tanny, I mean, honestly, man, I don't know what more to say to you, man. You clearly don't understand the game, man. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, bro. Honestly, man, you don't seem to have a grasp for the game, bro. I'm not saying that disrespectful. I appreciate you watching the stream. But you just don't seem to have a grasp for the game, man. It's not about taking 1 or 2 spots. The difference between 85 speed and 90 speed is so marginal, but you're missing the point that if a player can go to 90 speed without it affecting the threshold of his other defensive stats, then there is no reason to take 90 speed off, and you might as well get the marginal boost. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, I've already explained it to you, man. Like, with Araujo. Look, the increase in his defense here is so marginal that it's not worth taking off his 90 speed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look, I'm either choosing between a 90 speed Araujo with 96 defensive awareness, 98 tackle and 99 aggression and 96 defensive engagement, or I am sacrificed taking 5 points out of this or 4 points out of this to put it in to 1 into defending. Now, I know you'll say, yeah, but you can add it somewhere else, but it doesn't really matter. Like, you already have 90 heading, you already have 90 physical contact, you already have 90 plus jumping, you already have 80 acceleration, you already have 85 speed. You might as well keep the 90 speed. That's what I'm saying. If you value 99 aggression over 98 aggression, have at it, but it doesn't make a difference, man. It just doesn't make a difference too much to this card. That's why I wouldn't touch it. I would rather leave him at 90. 95 defensive. Any stat, man, doesn't track above 95. I don't care what anybody says. When it brings to online, you can do all the testing that you want in training mode, offline. You can do whatever testing that you want in a laboratory, man. It doesn't rectify online when it's 95, in my opinion. It just doesn't, man. It doesn't, because there's other factors going on. There's lag, there's script, there's DDA, there's speed boost, there's speed decreases. Like, people get 2 in their head. I get 2 on my head. I'll lose an aerial battle with Cannavaro and I'll be like looking at his stats. Do you know what I'm saying to you? If you have super cancel, you don't need, if you're able to super cancel and ball roll, you don't need dribbling at 95 plus. You don't need to go into 96, 97 dribbling. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like Neymar, right? Neymar at 99 ball control. It doesn't mean that he's going to beat a man better than if you had it at 95 ball control. You know what I mean? Well, Tanny, again, you're incorrect, bro, because you're not... Jesus, man. Honestly, man, it's like talking to an ex, man, that just doesn't get it. Seriously, man. We're not saying that there is a massive difference in the gameplay, bro. I'm going to explain myself once more, and that's it, man. Because you have to be trolling at this stage, honestly. And I'm giving you too much attention. We're not saying that there's a point in changing the cards or overcomplicating it, man. I'm literally undercomplicating it. It's very, very simple. Like, there's a lot of people in the chat that seem to understand it, and you don't seem to get it. So I understand, man, that we all learn at different paces. I'm literally after explaining to you without overcomplicating it, keeping it as simplified as possible. You don't need to panic about stats at a certain level. Once you have a defender that has 95 in most stats, and once his speed is above 85, everything else is largely irrelevant. The only difference is if that you could take from this, there is 0 point in taking 4 out of them to put 1 into defending. You might as well leave it at the 90 speed. Yeah, I do, Buzz. Honestly, I do. I honestly do. Yo, Sparta, what's up, bro? And Mehmet, welcome in as well. Buzz, I am telling you, right? If you're playing a couple of games today, right? Take down all your defenders from 90 speed to 85. And I am telling you, you will not notice a difference. However, if you have the luxury of being able to do that, as we have with Araujo, like, the difference where you're putting the other stats are non-noticeable either. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So it's kind of like, what I'll show you is, right, if I take 4 out of this and I say, yeah, like, I mean, I have got 6 progression points left, and I'm after playing 10 games in Division 1 with Araujo. He hasn't been caught for pace once. He's actually dominating the same as he did with 90 speed. The problem is with these cards at such a level, why V5.2 hasn't changed that much for super squads and really unreal teams. There is literally nowhere else to put these stats into the card. Look at his card. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah, but this now means that I can get his tackling to 99. The difference between 98 and 99 is relevant, really. Right? You might say, okay, I have 6 progression points left over. I can actually throw it into either aerial strength, or I can throw it into dexterity, or I can throw it into dribbling, or I can throw it into whatever, right? Let's just say you put it into aerial strength and jumping. You have now turned him into a 96 jumper with 92 physical contact. That might make a slight difference, but then you actually look at it and you say, how many times have I lost the game from a header or from people attacking the aerial? You know, this is an on-the-ground game. 90% of people are going to attack on the deck, on the ground, as if they're playing a five-a-side. There's no ball into the air. You know, a lot of people play with the rule that the ball can't go over their shoulder, with the shoulder height. You know? That's what I'm saying. Now, that's defenders, man. If you are obviously playing with left and right backs, right? I think where this update kind of shines mostly is for building cards, is for cards that have been slightly left behind the current meta that are now brought back into the fold. So what I would say is the likes of Gerard Piqué, the likes of Aldair, the likes of, who we'll have a look at in a second as full back, Bergomi, the homie, the likes of them guys. Even the likes of Saliba, the player of the week. Now, obviously, you can't train him. You just have him on the deck. But look, Konami have given him the perfect stats. 85 speed, nearly 80 acceleration, and then the rest of his stats, 98 defensive awareness is the only weakness on him, but it's not even a weakness. Every defensive stat into 95 plus. Also, if you take a look at the likes of Beckenbauer, who was an older card, or Dean Huyson, right? This guy, again, 85 speed, 75 plus acceleration, and then everything 90 plus. He was obviously a free card. He obviously isn't going to be as effective as the super duper super troopers, but that's what it is, man. Piqué is the same. Piqué is a really, really solid player ID, exceptional at winning the ball back, just a really good card. Aerial fort, blocker, double touch, one touch pass, really nice card to work with, right? He even has 85 speed, 75 acceleration now. So I am telling you, if you want, just do that as a test, right? If you guys are prepared to do a test and you're prepared to lose the game or win a game, based on changing builds, right? Try something for me, right? 85 speed, 75 acceleration with your center backs, and chalk down how many times you actually notice it as an issue. You won't. I'm telling you, you won't. Now, that's not to say that they won't tweak this. I definitely think that they will tweak it. But Konami are smarter than you give them credit for, lads. Look at all the cards, man. I'm not even, I haven't even tested out these cards or these builds or anything like that. But every single card that they've brought out recently is still hitting the threshold of 85 speed and 90 plus in every defensive formation or stat. That's what I'm saying, man. Where you are not dreaming, bro, man. You're not. Zlatan's pack made about 25 mil, I think. I still believe speed is a crucial attribute. Yeah, it is, man. It is. And hitting 90 or above is ideal whenever possible. However, acceleration below 90 is now fine, so high defensive awareness compensates for it. Exactly. Now, I will say, right, one of the other points that this has probably brought up is the difference between using a left back or a right back that's either a defensive fullback or an attacking fullback. So obviously if you're using, again, the brand new Carlos or the brand new Jordi Alba or Nuno Mendes that was brought out, or the latest, not brand new, or bar one, right? Say for Carlos, again, genuinely, man, Peppa Pig could train this card because there's no weakness in him, right? So if you decide here, I'm going to actually take down his dribbling, you're only gaining 1 point to bring it down to 92. You're only gaining another 2 points to bring it down to 90. So for this case, I would just bring up his speed as much as possible. The only difference that you could make here is to put it into defending, but you can only put 1 in, and then you have to change his entire booster. So I wouldn't say that it just rectifies it all the time, that you don't have to have extra speed. What it would be is that, like, for cards that are kind of a little against the grain and that haven't been viable in a long time, such as Costa Curta, is it worth bringing Costa Curta's stats down a little bit here and bringing his acceleration and his speed down? Because we've a lot spent on speed here. If we bring down 5 points from this, or sorry, 4 points from this, and max it at 10, we're going to have an 85 speed build. Now we can bring his acceleration up a little bit. We can actually hit quite easily 80 with this and still have, oh no, sorry, we can just hit 80 with this now. So that's an 85 speed, 80 acceleration build for a fullback. If we're playing Costa Curta as a centre back, you can literally take that dexterity down, and that is going to be able to be maxed out at 75. You don't even need 75. But you've now freed up 12 points that you can put 2 more in to get him at 15. That's going to make a slight difference to his card because it maxes out his defensive engagement. You don't get 94 tackle or aggression unless you take out from the rest of his cards, such as goalkeeper 1 or whatever. But you can do that if you wanted to, and still have his aerial strength quite nice. Obviously, you're not going to go at 90 aggression, but the rest of the cards are really nice. That's only if you're playing him as a centre-back. Where I think the game has really kind of like changed is if you are playing like an old school card, or you're playing a card that you just, isn't at the meta, such as Silvestre. Now, Silvestre, I noticed yesterday in the stream, was beasting. You could potentially, if you're playing him defensively, you could take down this card a little bit here to 80 acceleration, 85 speed, and that frees up his defensive capabilities. If you're not looking to defend, you can still add acceleration on if you want to go that route with him. It's not going to get 85, but you've got all defensive stats 90 now, while still having tight possession. His physical contact is quite poor, but you're using him as an attacking full-back. If you're not using him as an attacking full-back, you can take down his dexterity, and you can upgrade his physical contact a little bit. That's going to get you about 80 plus. So yeah, that's what I would say about full-backs. Is that, like, it's not as effective as it was before to just simply have him. Now, one card, right? One card with this that kind of tells the tale of where Konami have made this change and why they've made this change is probably a card that a lot of people used to use before that I would say is still... Do I not have Bergomi the homie here, lads? Where is he? Oh, he's down as a C. Oh, there he is. Sorry. Was this card Bergomi, right? Now, when this card came out, he was one of the only cards in the game that hit pretty much every threshold. Now, this is a while back that this Bergomi came out. It's not the new Bergomi. But if you look at his stats and you were able to take 1 from defending here, that frees up this. You can then decide to choose how to play him, right? So we've still already got 85 speed, 85 acceleration. If you're playing him as a centre back, you now no longer need this stat. So we can take him back to 80 acceleration, And if we're playing him as a centre-back, we now have the option to either A, turn him up to 90 physical contact, 90 jumping, 90 heading, while still having every defensive stat over 90 and his speed at 85. Or, of course, you could put on one more into defending if you wanted to and max out that a little bit. But this is going to be an unreal card. Even the new card is going to be unreal. You know what I mean? Like, it's a crazy, crazy card. So that's what I would say with the full backs and the centre backs. Listen, Tanny, you're entitled to your opinion, man. But, I mean, if you've nothing else to add about it, I mean, you're just going to get timed out, man. Seriously. Every time I look down, man, you're just repeating yourself. Like, are you an actual real person or are you a bot at this stage? Seriously. Like, if you don't understand it, man, that's fine. If you think you understand it, that's grand as well. Like, I'm not a dictator. But just give somebody else a chance to talk, man, without saying the same thing over and over and over again. What player comes on Monday? Yes, there you go, man. That's Monday's cards. You're just repeating the same information back to me, man, and trying to make it out as if you're making this point. Honestly, man, you're more than welcome here. Anyone with a different opinion to mine is more than welcome here. But like every time I look down, man, you're just spamming the same point. And I can't keep up with the other people's messages. If you don't get it, man, you don't get it. If you don't think a stat here or a stat there makes a huge difference to some players, you don't understand it. That's fine, man. That's fine. You don't have to. Maldini's going to be Maldini's going to be about 107-8 overall. Neymar's going to be about 106, I'd say. So he's going to be a beast. A really good card. The Cafu Roma card. Yeah, I can. Well, I'll change his build now. I'll change his build. We'll go at 91 speed, 91 acceleration. 90 speed, 90 acceleration. That's a decent attack and full back option, lads. Very decent. That's probably the formation or the one I would go with. Well, that's a lot into passing. Do I need that much passing? Well, that's an all-rounder build. 85 low pass. Yeah, it's a pretty decent card. 0, 8, 11, 2, 2, 6, 12. 3. Defending is his booster. But I would potentially null and void his defending, lads. 12 into defending is too much. If you're looking to get the best out of Cafu, I would treat him as an attacking fullback that can masquerade as a left-sided Roberto Carlos. Cafu is a right-sided Roberto Carlos because of his other stats. And the fact that you need to put in a lot of stats in, yes. But I wouldn't, if you're putting a defensive build on him, I wouldn't do that, man. I would make him an attacking option. You don't need the dribbling as high if you don't want it, but I would still keep the dribbling probably at that. I would just max out his pace and trying to get to 95 in pace because he's a different type of option. He's a different option, man. .96 speed, 95 acceleration. Yeah, you could go with that. Or 95, 95, 88. Now, I know you'll say, but Barry, I thought you said you don't need 95 speed and 95 acceleration. That brings me on to my next point, if you're looking for attacking players. Right? So we'll jump from our DMFs for a minute, and we'll go to right-sided players and left-sided players, or left and right wingers, or players like Nedved or any of those, right? So, for example, with David Beckham, the new David Beckham goes 91 speed, 91 acceleration, but all his attacking build is going to have 95 stats for his lofted pass. His curl is going to be 98. He's got huge stamina. He's got ball control, dribbling, everything. So I honestly, man, I definitely feel that these cards don't have a weakness. You could literally take Beckham down to an 85 acceleration. I would say that the threshold now for attacking players, because of the changes to the stats in pace and defensively, I would say that you probably need most of your attackers, unless they're a passing first option. Like Beckham doesn't need 91 speed and acceleration. We can take this down to 90 and 90. Or even we could take it down to probably a little bit more. Because Beckham's going to be a slightly different card. Now, obviously, with his booster here, we're going to have to get the 91. You know what I mean? Tanny, listen, bro. Just stop annoying me, man. Seriously. Stop annoying me. It's just boring the same time. The same time. You won't comment anymore because you're timed out, man. That's why you won't comment anymore. Jesus Christ, man. I don't know, did you not get enough attention as a child, or if you are a child? But fuck me, man. We're trying to have a nice Saturday stream, man. And it's literally just saying the same thing over and over and over again without getting the point. I'd understand if you actually got the point and you were disagreeing with me. But you literally have no... You're just oblivious to what I'm saying, man. Fucking hell, man. Jesus Christ. So this card here, man, honestly, look, this card here, you don't need 90 speed, 90 acceleration with this Beckham if all you're doing is passing with him. You know what I mean? It's more important to have a lot of these stats into the high 90s. But he already has these stats into the high 90s. 85 finishing for a cross specialist is more than enough. Curl at 98 is more than enough. Yes, you could go with the finishing and the curl a bit higher if you wanted to. But honestly, man, I do feel like that with this card... And with all of these cards, you genuinely don't need these stats to be buffed up. You don't need to change it. So what I would say is, right, with these cards here, the right midfielders and the left midfielders, or any of these cards, I would say that this only probably applies for cards that you might have used at one stage, but that have been, again, like I said earlier in the video, have been slightly like underwhelmingly or slightly overwhelmed by the new cards. Do you know what I mean? With David Beckham here. Like, this old school Beckham is 99 lofted pass. So I don't think you need to upgrade to the new Beckham because he's not ever going to be blistering fast. Even if you get 90 plus speed on him, like what we have here. So that's what I would say. For Neymar, obviously he's gonna you know, be a dribbler. He's not gonna be passing, so you can build him kind of differently. Do you know? So 6'4", 6'11", 9'5", 0'0". Messi again have no weakness. I don't think that these cards need to be rebuilt at all, lads. Honestly, you don't need to tweak any defenders or any attacker stats compared to the defenders. What I would probably tweak more than anything would be the speed of your defenders and your DMFs, your CBs, any of these. Vieira is a prime example there. Like, there is no real justification for changing Vieira's stats if he's dominating for you. Yes, it would be nice to get his defensive awareness to 94. What you could potentially do there is take away this and just give that. If you want to take one off aerial strength, you could do that. You still have 90 physical contact if you take a little bit off his other stats. So you could take his passing because he is literally a one-stop shop. That's all he is. Like, if you could get his aerial strength there, which you can, that is a nice card, man. 85 speed, 80 kicking power, 90 physical contact, 95 stamina, and then the rest of his defensive stats. So again, that is genuinely such a marginal change to his card, but it's a slightly better built card with V5.2. 7 passing, 4 dribbling, 2 decks, 8 lower body, 4 aerial strength, 15 defending, 0, 0, 0 into the rest. If you have an other DMF, such as a slower base card, I would maximize defensive awareness if it's a choice between them. See, lads, these cards don't need it, man. Even the free right card, right? If you're to look at the free right card here, like, he goes to 90 speed, like, with 75 acceleration, but he's an anchorman. So yes, it's nice to have his speed at 90, because there's nowhere else to put the stats. But you literally could get by, man. You could get by with this card with 85 speed. You genuinely could. And boost up his defense if you wanted to go that route. Because you can then get his defensive capabilities to 95. And this card slots into a CB seamlessly then. And he's no slower than Patrick Vieira. And he's got the big long legs. So, you know, it's an amazing card. Jordan Henderson, again, 95, 95, 95, and 95 for all defensive stats. I mean, if you guys didn't pick Jordan Henderson as an absolute monster, man, then I genuinely don't, do you know what I mean? I don't know what to say. Like, he's a beast. He's a really, really good card, man. Really, really good card. And that's the build I went for him there. 4, 4, 3, 10, 5, 14, and 1. Yo, Insidious, thank you, brother. I have not had the chance to be around much lately. Glad to see you were still on. Thank you, bro. Lou, he's a beast, man. Thank you, bro. He's a beast. I think he's a beast, but he doesn't perform as well as Vieira. I think the biggest problem is his player ID. Like, is he as good as Rijkaard? No. Is he as good as Patrick Vieira? No. Is he as good as even smaller players? Makelele, Edgar Davids, Gattuso? No, he's not. But he is a beast. He is a beast. I think he's a monster, man. He, like, for my free-to-play, he is literally like a free-to-play Vieira. That's not as good, obviously. But then again, you can't really, do you know what I mean? But any of these cards are going to do it for you, like. Yo, Skinny, what's up? But these cards, man, don't have a weakness like Gattuso. No need to change. It's more for these cards. Like, if you were looking at, remember the old school Rodri that we had? Or the old school Davids? Or, did I go past Rodri? Yeah, this Rodri. Remember this Rodri when he came out, lads? He was an absolute monster. He was a monster, man. He was an absolute monster, man. 91 defensive awareness, 90 tackling, 94 aggression, 92 defensive engagement, 77 speed, 61 acceleration. And I guarantee you, man, I guarantee you, he will not be as slow as he was. Now, he is actually quite slow. This is a bad card to look at because he only has 26 levels. But still, I mean, as an anchorman, you don't really need passing on him. So that frees up 5 spots. But this card, lads, was an old card. Yeah, I did do Araujo as well. So if you talk about this card here with Rodri, the newer Rodri, he's actually quite fast compared to the older one. So again, if you take one out of each of those, you'll have an 80 speed, 75 acceleration. And then you can actually either put that into defense, or where I'd put it is probably 1 into that and 1 into defense. You're still not going to get the boosters because obviously these guys don't compare with the new cards. And for attackers, lads, any attacker players, right? I would break down the attackers, right? Ibrahimovic, right? Collar, Cristiano, or any of these, Drogba, Adriano, any of these cards, right, that are taller. Batistuta is a good choice. Any of these 4-style strikers where you're literally getting the ball. Ekitike is probably in there as well, even though he's quite quick, right? But any of these 4 strikers here, I would say, right, that you're not building up your play as effectively as you used to build up your play before. Like, Zlatan is 90 in speed and everything, 90 acceleration, 90 jumping, 90 everything, right? Yes. An absolute monster card. 96 finishing, and obviously he's got willpower as well. It's going to be 100 finishing on pretty much all his 8 shots. Well, 5 shots. But I would say that the only cards you really need to train are the smaller base cards, such as Messi, or Romario, or Eto'o. And I would max out their speed and acceleration now. So, for example, with Samuel Eto'o, if you can, once you have his balance at 85, which I think is a must, I would say that his physical contact, you don't even need physical contact anymore. I would probably train and retrain this to have the physical contact down. Once it's over 72, grand. Or 70, it's grand. Because it's not going to make a difference. The defenders, if they want to win the ball now, they're going to win the ball. It's as simple as that. And finishing, yes, you could have his finishing at 90 plus if you wanted to. 90 is more than enough. But Eto'o's probably a bad example because he's got maxed out stats anyway. And you can max out his pace very, very quickly. So that's 100 speed, 102 acceleration. But that is what Eto'o is there for. He's there to get the ball, to run in a straight line, touch and go, and have blistering pace. If you're looking for something a little bit more, like, I suppose maybe the likes of Bale as well. Bale is a good example as a CF or as a left midfielder. Again, he doesn't need as much finishing, but he's maxed out his speed and his acceleration, but he's got physical contact as well out the wazoo. So he'll actually be able to, like, you know, be good physically. So that's what I would say. But it's for these smaller base players. Like the old school Mbappe, like this new school Mbappe. Again, he's just pure blister and pace. Obviously, he's a blitz curler. I don't know why you don't use him more, actually. All right. Do you know what we're going to do, man? We're going to do a test match here. And I'm literally just going to play a couple of, like, slow players. Dante, listen to what I'm saying, bro. Listen to what I'm saying. I'll say it very, very clearly. I'm not saying physical contact doesn't matter anymore. I'm saying that physical contact is overridden now by defenders when they want to win a ball. That's all I'm saying, man. For example, I literally just showed you an example. If you can have Gareth Bale's stats at this as a left midfielder, there is no point in not having his physical contact at the risk of any other stat, right? There's no point having anything else here because you can actually get his physical contact to 90. What I'm saying is that I wouldn't choose to have the likes of Kylian Mbappe, which much more than physical contact. Because if you're getting bullied off the ball with Mbappe and Eto'o by Tony Adams or Rio Ferdinand, then your attack patterns are incorrect. You shouldn't be bringing the ball into defenders. I don't have Baresi. No, that's okay, bro. You don't have to apologize, man. You don't have to apologize. If you missed the point, you missed the point, man. I wouldn't say... It's like anything, like... These cards have no weakness, bro. So you don't need to take out the stats and be like, yeah, I have to choose between 99 speed. Like, if it's a case of me hitting a threshold for a card, I'm always going to hit the threshold and like the loss of the other stats. But the cards like Messi, like, you don't need to choose between tight possession, finishing, speed, acceleration, and kicking power because they all hit the thresholds and more. Once you get to 90, you're fine. You know? Once you get to 90, you're fine. It's more for, I think, cards like kind of, you know, cards that have been slightly left behind. I can still do a job for you, but they've slightly been left behind compared to the newer cards that have come out. Like, there's nobody comparing to the new strikers that have come out. You know? That's what I'm saying is that I would, yes, in an ideal world, would I like Samuel Eto'o to have 85 physical contact? Of course, because then I can actually, you know, I can actually train him a little bit different and I can play, his build-up can be a little bit different. But I'm not going to train his card and put so much points into Samuel Eto'o to get his physical contact up to 80 because look what I'd have to do. Now, you could, if you wanted to, depending on how you play, 95 and 95 is probably going to be more than enough if you wanted to do that. And you would be able to get his physical contact up. Like, you could probably put 12 into it, and you could get it to 85 with a booster, if you wanted to do that. But the same way is that if you wanted to turn him into, you know, have his finishing at 95, you can do that as well. Or 97 or 99. But I don't think it makes a huge difference. Now, look, what we're going to do on this game, lads, is we're going to play our slowest centre-backs, and I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to play our slowest centre-backs. Now, I'm not going to play like the slowest of the slowest, but we'll play Van Buiten. We will play... I'm Van Buiten and Dunk have 70 acceleration and 75 acceleration. And on our left and right, we'll play our fastest players. We'll play 2 insanely fast players, which will probably be Carlos and Cafu, with a 95 build each. I don't think I have faster players than that. Faster left and right backs is what I mean. Otto's quite quick too, isn't he? Is Otto quick? Well, Jordi Alba's a rocket too. Yeah, Jordi Alba's quite quick. So this is a 95 speed, 95 acceleration Jordi Alba, and a Cafu 95 speed, 95 acceleration. With Van Buiten 75, 75, and Lewis Dunk, we'll go 75, 75. We'll go 85, 85, or 85, 75, and we'll go speeds 80 and 75. So we'll kind of have a slow and a fast all the way up the pitch. Okay, I need a slow right midfielder. Or a slower right midfielder. Yeah, we're not worried about a player being bad or poor, man. We're literally just testing out. Let me bring in Corona. Haven't played him in a while. No, Corona's on C form. Hold on. What about this guy? Luis Araujo. He's quite quick as well. I want somebody that's slow, man. I want somebody that's very, very slow. What about this old school Olise? And we just take down his speed. That's going to bring him down to an 80 acceleration. Okay. Let's play a game and I'll see. We'll actually play events. Hold on. We'll play events. Now, don't concentrate. I'm not going to be concentrating on anything in this game, lads, in this match, apart from the speed of my slower players versus the speed of my fast players. So we've got Rodri in midfield with Gattuso. Gattuso's 90 plus pace and acceleration, speed and acceleration. Rodri is slow, okay? Now, he's not grandmother in a wheelchair slow, but we've also got Jordi Alba and Cafu, who have 95 speed, 95 acceleration on our left and right flank, our left and right backs, and we've got 2 slow centre backs. After this, I'll do a few more builds, and I'll do a quick fire builds of anybody that wants to see it. Costa, thank you for watching, bro. Oliver Kahn is coming as a freebie, yeah. Review what? How will I review Oliver Kahn and he's not out yet, man? Looking at a card's stats is not reviewing a card, bro. Yo, Sel, what's up, bro? Welcome in. A lot of cheaters in this game. Beat Terrain. No, bro, I don't have free coins, man. Please stop spamming. Okay, alright, okay. Listen, man, there's very few rules I have on the stream. If you're coming in here to spam, if you're coming in here to act a knobhead, if you're coming in here to promote people, man, like, just, it's not going to fly, man. Yo, La Casa, welcome in, brother. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. Thank you, bro. Hope you're good, bro. Hope you're good. So let's see in this game, man, is it actually a difference between the fast players and the slow players? And what do you notice about? Mostly when I lose the ball, right? So here we are with Daniel Van Buiten. Let me see. Okay. Hull it. Oof. Did you notice a difference in the speed there? Or was it just a little bit of momentum? Yo, Wayne, what's up, bro? What a pass. It's a lucky one, lads. Honestly, man, I just think that they've really, like, with the free-to-play players, they've really changed the speed. Like, I just don't think it's going to be an overwhelming factor anymore. Like, I know I'm playing possession, lads, and I know I'm not going to be caught out with pace with the way the game plays right now. Man, Messi is a cheat code. All right, here's Dunk. Here's Dunk. Look. No difference in speed. What you think? No, it's not official. That's not official yet. No, with John O'Shea and them. It's like the guys, man, saying that R9 is coming every week. I mean, I see YouTube videos, thumbnails. I don't click on the videos because obviously they're clickbait shite, you know. But I mean, they only need to fool you once and you've already clicked. And then you might never click on or watch them videos because you know the people are full of shit. Look, man, there's Lewis Dunk. What am I telling you, man? What am I telling you? Speed has definitely changed. Here's Dunk again. Here's Van Buiten. Whoa, what's going on? I don't think so, man. I don't think that they're streaming the LA event. As far as I know, they're not. It's an internal event, no? Unless they've decided to stream it. I didn't think that they were. Ah, I should have went over the top, lads. I should have went over the top. But yeah, I honestly, man, I think that example there with Lewis Dunk is kind of after explaining the game a little bit better. And I'm trying to open up. I'm trying to Bonnie Blue my defense and just leave it wide open. Yeah, man. I like, are you guys noticing, right? I know you're probably saying that this guy is not the best player. I get that, right? But are you guys noticing it? Like, are you guys noticing that I'm playing two very extremely slow players at the back? Does it look noticeable? Like, and I'm playing with possession as well. So like, I'm trying. Look, I'm not even defending properly. I'm not using matchup. I'm literally trying to leave gaps. I'm trying to sabotage my defense because we're only playing in events. So it doesn't matter really. Like, not that it matters if we win or lose anyway, but I'm not noticing any difference between controlling my slow centre backs. Whereas before, man, you just could not play a lot of these cards before. They just weren't viable. I smell it in my bones. O'Shea is coming, yeah. O'Shea is definitely going to come, but we don't know if he's definitely coming in that pack. I don't think he's going to come as a freebie. All right, look, I'm trying to get as high up the pitch as I am. Like, I'm in midfield here. Right. Here's Alba. Okay. It's obviously the pace of Alba there. Right. Lewis Dunk. Van Buyten. Yeah, man, I definitely think that they've buffed all the slow defenders. Oh, John O'Shea could come. Yeah, he definitely could come in the box like the Rooney came. It makes sense, but it's not 100% official yet. I had originally heard that John O'Shea was going to be added to the penalty game system, so that potentially could be the new one now. Maybe he will come as a freebie, yeah. I just think it's defensive awareness. I would definitely not worry about speed on your centre backs anymore, lads. I just wouldn't. That's just my opinion. Like, from having played the game, I'm sure that, you know, everyone has a different opinion on the game, man. I'm sure that there'll be lots of tests done. I'm sure that a lot of different content creators will have different opinions. But, I mean, I'm only telling you what I'm looking at here and what I'm actually looking at. And I have noticed zero difference between a player with, you know, Van Buyten's speed compared to somebody like Rio Ferdinand's speed. The only difference I've noticed them is their reactions. That's all. But they're still getting back properly. Like, Cafu is obviously a rocket, but he's not standing out as a 95 speed demon. Whoa. Or is he? Do you think he's just covering the gap without me seeing it? Right, come on. Get a true ball with Van Buyten. I mean, Lewis Dunk is keeping up there, man, with Zlatan. I don't know, man. I reckon that they'll change it, though. I reckon that this analysis that we're, you know, doing here, I reckon that they will slightly change it. I don't think that they're going to keep it as this. Because I do feel like that a lot of the attacking players not have been nerfed, but they're definitely not as effective as they were before. In terms of speed. Which, depending on how you play the game, is either a good thing or a bad thing. Here's Van Buyten. He reacts okay. He's got the speed. Blitz. Oof. Doesn't look... The Barcelona event looked like Romario. Yo, Pocket, what's up, bro? It's afternoon, yeah. It's like 4 o'clock here. 3:30. I don't know, man. I don't see any difference between using Rio Ferdinand and Van Buyten right now. In terms of speed, in terms of pace. It's hard, man. It's hard to judge it because he's not really taking me on sprint-wise. Here's Van Buyten. Here's a good effort. You haven't crossed once today. Well, say less. Ah, you dirtbag. He injured me, man. He injured me. All CBs are usable now. I agree. And this guy's got a good team, man. Look at his team. Like, he's not... This guy isn't a joke. Like, look at his squad. Well, playing 3 at the back against a good opponent is always going to be difficult. Now, come on. There we go. Come on, come on, come on. Have a run at me. Have a run. Nah, he's just spamming too slow. I would say that the one thing that's noticeably nerfed, lads, is the 1-2s. It's definitely nerfed, in my opinion. Is the new Maldini going to be better than as a CB or an LB? I would say depends on your playstyle. Question, lads. Question for people playing long ball counter. Because I'm playing long ball counter here. Or sorry, I'm playing against long ball counter here. Do you think that long ball counter is actually nerfed that much? I don't think it is. I was playing with it yesterday and I didn't think it was. Do you actually think it's nerfed that much? I would say it's still the easiest way to play, yeah. I still think it's the meta, like. I just think it's probably reduced in meta by not reduced in meta. It's probably gone back maybe 10%. I still think possession and out wide are the hardest formations to play with. Listen, it's all gravy, lads, unless you come up against an absolute beast of a player. Like, when you come up against a really strong opponent, then it's different. GG's, man. Long ball counter is broken. You think so? Oh, that's terrible, Gary. Shite, man. So, lads, look, we just played that guy there. I don't know what his ranking was. I would say not that high. Well, he's a Division 1 player. And this was his team. So he had Messi, he had Del Piero, he had Ibrahimovic, he had Hullet, he had pace at the back. And this was my team. That was my team. Look at the pace we had. Van Buyten, 75-75. Lewis Dunk, 85-70. Jordi Alba, 95-95. And Cafu. Rodri, 80 and 75. I didn't notice Rodri's lack of pace there. Possession is impossible at the moment, in my opinion, if you come up against a good meta player. It's extremely, extremely difficult. Brizzle, maybe we did play, bro. Maybe we did. I hope you didn't beat me, though. Because I probably slagged you off when you beat me. All right. I'm going to do a really quick fire, like, builds, showing you my builds for V5.2. Not all of these are going to apply to you. Not all of these are going to be, you know, worth changing or worth retraining. I will say, right, for any card that you have that is literally going to go over 100 rating, you literally don't need to retrain them at all, in my opinion. If you want to, I would say it's more like little tiny tweaks, such as the likes of Vieira, who I have an updated build for now because I've taken his acceleration down from 85 to put it at 81 and put his defensive awareness to 95. I'm viewing 95 awareness now as the new threshold of defensive awareness, unless Konami roll it back. From what I've seen, 95 awareness is like speed boost. It's like speed stat for defenders on crack. The Lance Armstrong diet. So this is the build for him here for Vieira. I'll do the most popular players and we'll work our way through. 0, 7, 4, 2, 8, 4, and 15 into defending. Yes, it's a lot, but that gets you 95 awareness with shutdown booster. We also have Lewis Dunk. We don't have the booster on him, but the booster we're going to give him is going to be the defensive booster, and that is obviously going to maximize his defense to 95 awareness, 95 aggression, and of course his defensive engagement as well is going to go to 99. Tackling is only going to stay at 92. That's not a problem. 85 speed, 70 acceleration. His physical contact is not going to go past 84, but that's fine. All we're doing is putting 11 into lower body, 7 into aerial strength, 12 into defending, and 1 into goalkeeper 1 if you want to for the jump. We also have old school Van Buiten, any school Van Buiten, new school, old school, whatever. Once you have 95 defensive awareness and the rest of his stats at 90 or above, with 75 speed, 75 acceleration. If you've got the new Van Buiten, you can go 80 speed or 85 speed if you really want to. You don't need more than 75 acceleration on him. I did a test with these builds for a 95 speed, 95 acceleration Jordi Alba and Cafu at 95 and 95. I would now make my attacking fullbacks a little bit more well-rounded. So I would potentially probably reduce their speed and acceleration to 90 and 90. And then I would either decide that if you want to play him with a bit of passing or dribbling, obviously, you know, we have a bit of shooting on here for the curl to 80, but I would probably just make them all-rounders because of the way the game is gone. So I would probably just max out their defending here because he's hitting every other threshold in it. 90 defensive engagement, 86 defensive awareness, and obviously it's 4, 7, 9, 3, 5, 5, 12. And then obviously the booster is agility. Who else did we have? So that was kind of like our defensive players. Pirlo is an interesting one because Pirlo has always hit that 85 speed, 85 acceleration, but he has been lacking the aggression at 90, but he has defensive awareness. That's the build I have for Pirlo. 0, 3, 5, 8, 12, 2, 11. And that is the booster there, which is agility. You could obviously get a better booster on him because you're not spending that many points if you want to go defensive with him. But he's just a brilliant all-rounder. We also have Thuram. So this is the old school Thuram. I'm not going to waste my time training the other Thuram, but I mean, there is no really update on this either. 90 speed, 85 acceleration, 98 jump and 90 physical contact, 90 heading, only because there is nowhere else to put the stats. 2 into dex, 4 into lower body, 9 into area strength, 17 into defending, and 2 into goalkeeper 1, and his booster is shutdown. Similarly, we have the other version of Thuram. That is the French version of Thuram. We have him there somewhere as well. Hold on now. I thought we did anyway. Where's the other version of Thuram? Did I go past him? No, this is the other version of Thuram. So they're pretty much the same. Pretty much identical there with the 90 speed, 85 acceleration. Same build. Pretty much the same build. 4 into dex, 4 to lower body, 7 into aerial strength, and 18 into defending with this one. Now, you could say, listen, do I need to have his stats if they don't make much of a difference? You don't need to. This is a good example of kind of having the stats, right? Once you get to 99 awareness, which is going to be 16 here, it's not a massive difference to the card. You could, if you wanted to, put the rest into either physicality and heading or acceleration or lower body. Like, you can get his lower body and his dex up, or you can get his aerial strength up. The booster is going to be shut down. 95 jumping. You can go 95 speed. But the thing is, nobody attacks in the air, really. Like, there's very few people that are attacking aerial in the ball. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. Like, if you compare, right, this guy that we just played, and you look at his analysis, right, he has a lofted pass. You can see here, 1% of the time he's using a lofted pass. And as you go up the divisions, unless somebody has built their squad around collar, around bullet headers, around cross spam, you're not going to come up against it, man. You're just not. You're not going to come up against somebody. Yeah, if somebody, you could play somebody in 100% of their balls. That sounded wrong, but 100% of the balls they're putting into the box are either lofted passes, chipped passes, or crosses. It's going to be different than this. But I would say that like that is going to be few and far between. That is what I would say. That is what I would say. Like, and again, you have it here where you're talking about like, you know, different things like that people are going to do. I would say that you'd find it, like if you play 2 matches in a row where people are cross spamming, I would say that that's a rarity now. Yes, I know Collar's brought out. I haven't come up, even since Collar and Beckham have been out, right? And we got the new Collar and Beckham, right? And Collar does have, and I'll show you his build with 80 speed, 80 acceleration, 100 physical contact, 99 head, like Margot Robbie excels at it with the heading. Like, I have scored, I would say, probably 10 matches, 10 goals. I've scored probably 5 goals with Collar's head. The rest have come from on the ground. So unless you are deliberately building your attack and your attack patterns for crosses, right? You're just not going to have to deal with that as an option a lot of the time. Most of the people are going to play the ball on the deck. You know what I mean? They're going to play it on the ground. So unless you actually are coming up against somebody that is going to spam, the same way as like, how often do you concede against a blitz curler in the process of playing 5 matches? Are you conceding 2 or 3 goals from blitz curls? Like, even though Collar and Beckham came out on Monday, I literally haven't conceded a goal from crosses, I'd say, since that. Yes, people would try it against you, but the game is not built towards that. So just a quick kind of read of that, like of any of the players, the popular players like Gareth Bale. This is the build we have for him here, 0771193. We have this MSN Messi. I haven't really tweaked him too much. It's almost a perfect card, depending on where you're playing him. 7, 3, 7, 10, 11. Very, very simple. Boosters for those. Agility. And I think Bale is shooting. Yep. I'm not even going to waste my time in training Pele or any of these cards that have no weakness. Literally have no weakness. But Beto's still a very solid option if you're looking to play with a, you know, a Shark King up front. 94 finishing is only aided. We only want that because of 90 curl. 91 balance because of 95 attack and awareness. Acceleration, speed, kick and power type possession. Phenomenal card as well. And that's the build there with shooting. 708 1282. These are all the versions of Messi, right, that I've used. This is the builds. This is Roman flank Messi, bootkiss 4 4 12 10 8 0 0 0. This is the creative playmaker Messi, who in my opinion is probably the best version of Messi because of his stats. 1 4 5 11 14 0 0. Now you might ask the question, does he need this much speed? Well, the problem with this Messi is he doesn't get to 90 speed, but you don't really need it. Does he need the acceleration? Potentially not. Does he need the low pass this high? Potentially not. But there's nowhere else to put the build and nowhere else to put the stats. And I love him as an AMF, especially because we've given him flip-flap and soul control with double touch. And I've only played 175 games with him, but scored 82 goals and 56 assists. Compare that to the old other Messi, which was the original bully Messi. A lot of people still love him because of his huge physical contact. And obviously that's been given a boost because of the fact that they've changed certain managers to have different boosters. That's his build there. 6, 0, 5, 10. 14 lower body, 2 aerial strength. And with the booster, he's got his +4 king of football. This was obviously before double boosters. But I've played 338 games with this Messi and scored 200 goals and 79 assists. So every Messi card is going to do you the same. It's going to be the same end result. I think Messi is unreal. Roberto Carlos, again, a phenomenal card. I think probably too overpowered to really get into the nitty-gritty of his card. I mean, he's just a monster, like an absolute monster. 2 ways of training him. This is the build that I had gone for him. which was with a 95 curl. I would probably take down his, like, I think if you're playing Carlos as a left midfielder, lads, right? Obviously, we've given him dueling here. I think if you're playing Carlos as a left midfielder, that's where I go. He doesn't excel in anything. Like, his passing and his finishing are not at 90. And we've given a lot into passing and finishing here. So I would probably take down his dribbling a little bit there if you could and give him a different booster. But then you're going to be lacking his defense. If you're playing him up here, you don't need any defense. You can take all of that away. I mean, you're still going to have... Well, you could go 75 if you wanted to. 3 into that isn't going to change the dial. But I don't think you need any more than those stats. He's a beast, man. Maybe 95 speed. Or maybe max out his kicking power if you wanted to go that route. Maybe. 7-11-9-5-8-0-3. And you've got one left over. So that's just a selection of a lot of cards. But honestly, it's more centre backs than anything that need to be changed and need to be tweaked. Goalkeepers don't need to be changed at all. Cannavaro. The free version of Cannavaro still hasn't been a better free card than him, in my opinion. Phenomenal card. I would probably even like leave his speed at that. Like, if you take one off his defending, it's still 102, but you lose the aggression. So I would probably leave it at that. Which is a very simple 3 into dex, 9 into lower body, 5 into aerial strength, and 13 into defending. And all versions of him will be like that. It's an interesting one, man. Like, are you guys, honestly, right? I'm going to go for a pee, okay? 1 second, I need to go for a pee. But are you guys, like, genuinely, are you guys seeing a difference between the cards? Like, are you seeing a difference between the speed now? Let me go for a quick pee. 606 10 8 704. That's just for his jumping to get it up. Do you know what I mean? If you want me to rate your squads, we will do that now. I sounded like an AI bot there. If you want me to rate your squads, I will do that now. If you want me to do that, we've done 2 hours of like retraining testing. I know people are coming in to see different builds and stuff. If you want, man, I'll get the Discord up and you can send them into the Discord. I will do as many as I can. But you have to put in your squad, put in a picture of your squad into the section. I will show you here. Hold on. There should be a section in the squad called Squad Advice, if you guys can see that. It should be one, it's called Squad Advice in the Discord. But just put in a picture of your squad and put in, like, what you're struggling with. Don't, like, there's no point putting in a squad just to, you know, pat yourselves on the back and say, oh, look at my squad. Like, if, you know what I mean? That's fine, man, if you want to do that in terms of squad showcases. But unless you're actually wondering, like I'm leaking goals with my back four. This is my back four. Like, what is the actual problem with the squad? And I'll do squad reviews and stuff like that. The Discord link should be here, man. Hold on, let me just double check. Sometimes this Discord link doesn't work. Invite to server. Copy. That should be the Discord, man. Check if that link works. I'm not doing share play today, bro, because I won't be streaming for too much longer. What stats do I value more? Defensively, defensive awareness is the top stat now. If you can only max out one stat, whether it's Van Buyten, whether it's Thuram, whether it's Cannavaro, defensive awareness is the one to go for right now after testing. Now, if Konami changed that, don't blame me, because they could roll it back. All right, let me go for a quick pee, lads. I'm actually getting hungry now. All right, I'm back. Is Ranny in? Bro, man, for some reason I don't see your messages a lot of the time, man. Oh, excuse me, lads. Well, that's Gary's squad. Hold on, Gary. I'll get this up for you. One sec. Where are my images saving? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Here we go. first produced my pistol. Hold on. All right, let me have a look at this. Capello, Romario, Zlatan, Zico, Hullet, Bale, Vieira, Carlos. Zico on the left. So you're playing two whole players. You're playing two whole players here, are you, Gary? Who's this in the chat, lads? Luke77. Who's that? Don't recognize that. Recognize that name. Is it spam? Spam account? Must be a spam account, is it? Create a playmaker on the left. I don't know, man. I don't think that there's much that I can add to this team. Like, it's obviously the setup of this is meta. Like, one big, one small up front. Gareth Bale, probably one of the best players in the game. I would say out of this, Zlatan, Bale, Romario, Hullet, Vieira, Ferdinand. I would say that's 6 players that are probably in the top 10. 6 of the top 10 players in the game in terms of like the best players in the game. I don't know, man. I don't think there's any changes I would make to this. I think from having played you, Gary, yours is more of a... I think out wide would suit you better, but you don't cross the ball. Do you know what I mean? For your possession and stuff. I don't think through the middle suits you as much as it could. Yo, GT, what's up, bro? What's up? I think if you're playing out wide, it would suit you, but I would think you would need to change your... Like, you obviously don't need to change your entire system of playing because you like using the space out wide. All right, hold on. Let me just get this up on screen altogether. It'll be easier than saving the pictures. Sorry, lads. I'm not thinking clearly. I'm hungry now. Any ideas for what I could have for food, lads? Let me just get this up on screen altogether because it'll be easier. Let me get it up on screen, baby. Let me get it up on screen. Right. Yeah, there we go. Where am I, though? Okay, I'm over here for some reason. All right, so this is from Sonny. Hullet, Pele. I mean, I don't know, man. There's no real advice to give you here. Quick counter with a 4CB, double DMF, double CMF. Patrick Vieira, Rui Costa, Leo Messi, Pele, Hullet, Zlatan. Yeah, I mean, no advice really needed, man, with this squad. If you're struggling with this squad, I would say either take Vieira, just leave Vieira as 1 DMF. I've kind of gone off the 2 DMF unless you're attacking with him a lot through the middle. But this is a very centrified attack. Like, there's no width in this. And this is mostly what people will play. Hold on, my comments have disappeared. I should add the analyst photo. Yeah, I'll Photoshop that in. I'm not playing co-op today, bro. I'm going to be going in a few minutes. Pizza and wings. Rui Costa CMF, not good, nah. Some same old meta formatting. Yeah, I mean, this is the meta, like, at the moment, you know? I don't think that there's much advice needed on that. I mean, if you're struggling to score goals, potentially you could take... I like having a width option, lads. Like, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is what you're going to come up against. And some variations of it. Pretty much 90% of the time online. Like, look, what is rank 1 using? I'm using a kind of a modified 4-5-1, really. But, like, Messi is essentially a striker here. This isn't my main squad, like, obviously. But that is kind of what I've been using. You have one player to spread and be able to cut in, such as Bale. And you have one player that's either an overlap or else somebody that can, like, stay out wide. Whether it's, you know, Neymar, Bale, whoever. It doesn't matter. But that's essentially what you're trying to do. Obviously, you need to train Bale to be able to play out there. We have trained Bale this way to be able to play as a left mid or an SS. You could play him to play on the right mid as well if you wanted to. SS is fine if you want to go that route. But you could play him right mid to have maximum capabilities, you know. Gonna probably not get this at all. Left midfielder again. 3 in a row left midfielder. Lovely hat-trick. Centre forward. We probably won't get right midfielder, lads. How many is it going to take? At least I'll give it 5 more. Another left midfielder. Another left winger. Left winger. Right winger. All right, we'll give 6 more. 5 more. That's it. Second striker. Right midfielder. There we go. So it took what? 12? So if you wanted to play Gareth Bale here and have a sub tactic, you could do that and then play whatever. Like I usually, this is the setup that I'm finding working for me. Have one very direct winger if you're playing out wide and have one cut in. So one to actually keep the opponent out wide and take up man mark and tight mark and whatever. And then have one that cuts in. And is one that's direct and one that's dribble centric. One that is turn back around and beat players with dribbling, and one that is literally gung-ho straight on. Same if you're playing 2 strikers up front. One to hold up and finish, and one to actually link the play, if you're not using an AMF. But if you look here, right, and we go into the eFootball League, right, you will see that a lot of people are using this type of formation. All right, this is from somebody else here. This is a very similar formation that I have. So Ibrahimovic up front. You've got whole player Johan Cruyff or deep line Cruyff, whichever version you want. Hullet on the right. I would not have Hullet on the right, bro. 100% no. And Rui Costa, I would not have Rui Costa out there either. I would say that if you're using, I would switch Rui. I would switch Hullet. I would take out Rui Costa. I would switch Hullet with Cruyff, and I would put in a little bit of pace and a little bit of direct running on your left and right flanks there, even though you're using an AMF. Like, honestly, man, this is an unreal team, like with quick counter. If you're struggling for space, I might need help. You want to utilize the players I have in the club but don't want to play a meta formation of 4-2-1-3 as that got boring to me. Yeah, well, I can see, man, but you'd be better off going, in my opinion, you'd be better off put Hullet into an attacking midfielder. If you don't want to play the meta, I would say go 3 at the back. Especially if you switch from quick counter. If you're used to playing quick counter with 4 at the back, I would switch to the long ball counter and play 3 at the back with a 3-5-2. And it's probably the most fun you'll have with the game at the moment. But if you look at rank 1 here, lads, right? In the world. If you look at this guy here, you can see that we're playing a 1 Holden, but we're playing a 4-1-3-2. Now, the reason why he's probably playing that, okay, is because the triple AMF at the moment is so overpowered. But the same logic applies. What I said a while ago with looking at Gary's squad and looking at these squads. Most top players now are going to have a run and gun option up front, such as Rummy in this squad. Now, with this, right? Number 2 in the world currently. Again, you've got Hullet, Pele, and Hazard. The 3 of them players are offering something different. Hullet is aerial, so you're keeping the opponent honest, but you have to be able to defend corners. So this guy can cross in the ball, you know what I mean? Like if you look at this guy, I guarantee you he's crossing at least some balls in. Well, maybe he's not, actually. I'm wrong. But he's using a lot of low pass. He's using a lot of low through ball. He's using very little chip shots, stunning shots. Cursor change is huge on this. Chris, send on yours. Yeah, send on yours. I want to see it. The ultimate harem ball. Again, there's a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-3. Do you know what formation actually might work now? I know that the top rank aren't going to use it, but I'm not going to swap out this formation too much. But I had a formation before. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. This is what I think could be very fun right now, lads. With possession or a quick counter. Obviously change manager. I think this could be super fun right now. I genuinely think it could. Oh, you've gone. Chris, I do not. Hold on. Oh, something in my eye. No 5 at the back? Holy moly. What is wrong with you, bro? No 5 at the back. I would say that this formation could cook depending on how good you are and how good you are at dribbling. I think this would be a very, very nice formation. If you just wanted to have a bit of fun with the game. Obviously, the players don't really matter that much. No, I would probably stick with the quick counter. And sub-tactic, you could go a very simplified 4 at the back still with deep line. Like that. Obviously, the opposite way around. So this would be what you start with. And that's what your sub-tactic would be, not the other way around. That's a match pass Rodri. Yeah, bro, it is. No, a collar's not the meta anymore, no. Like, this collar is still a beast, and the new collar is still a beast, but he's not meta. Zlatan outperforms collar in pretty much everything. But, listen, collar has a condition, so we play with him, you know? He has maximum schlangelangeles. Some people suffer from small schlangelangeles. Collar is maximum. So I do think that collar is definitely hard to defend against, but he, you know, apart from Ibra's heading, Ibra's better than him everything. Yes, Seb, you can, bro, you can. Yeah, hopefully Egyptinho, as the analysis feature gets on a little bit better, like in the future, I think the people will enjoy it. But I would question, man, as well with the analysis, like how like genuinely, lads, I would question how many people are actually looking at the analysis and actually learning from it and changing their games. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would say, man. Like, are you going to go into your analysis when you lose a game and just being like, oh, you know, like, I don't really feel like I'm crossing the ball enough, and then you're going to start crossing the ball enough? Like, it won't happen, man. I like the analysis feature. I like the freebies. I like the cards. I like this. I like that. Yeah, you can Egyptinho, like you will if you want to get better at the game. The tools are there now to show it. But what the game doesn't show you as well is that, you know, they don't have a button, or they don't have an analysis for like how players are breaking down the games when they come up against similarly skilled players. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example, man, right? And I know Lucas is in the chat, so I'll be 100% blunt, right? Like, Lucas, the other day when I played you, man, like, I would never ever ever play you like that if I was actually taking the game seriously. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just, like, that's what I'm saying, is that when a good player is coming up against another good player, they change how they play the game. And that's why this analysis, you're not going to be coming up against similarly. Like, if you're a top 500 player, right? Or you're even a top 1,000 player, you're probably better than 99% of other people playing the game. So, Egyptinho, if I was to play you, right, and me and you were to play a best of 3, and I know that you have a very deep understanding of the game, the meta, the week-to-week changes of the gameplay, you understand every variable in the gameplay. Super cancel, fake shots, breaking animations, right? If I was to play Lucas again, if I was to play GT, when I'm playing OC, Gary, guys that have pushed rank, right, and got up rank, and there's a lot of skillful guys in the chat. If I'm playing Rock Chalk, if I'm playing a Dominator, if I'm playing Med, if I'm playing Pezep, if I'm playing any of the content creators, man, and I was actually taking it seriously, I'm not going to go in with collar up front. Do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't happen. Because the game doesn't let you experiment against better or equal players than you. So that's why you see in the esports events, you see very rarely, you see people get absolutely blown out compared to eFootball League. Because if you're going into a match and you know you're playing against somebody, like, for example, right, when I'm playing against Gary, I know, money on the line, I know Gary hates defending out wide. He hates it. He hates defending out wide. He hates crossing the ball in. So that's what I would go to, and I would keep knocking on the door until he shuts the door in my face, and I have to do something differently. It's the same if somebody likes to play fast and loose with the ball, and they like having 25, 30 interceptions per game. I'm going to hold on to that ball like it's a baby. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have 75% possession. Like OC. OC is a really, really good player. If I play OC on his terms, right, and I go fire versus fire with OC, and I go attack, and he goes attack, and I go stunning shot versus stunning shot, OC's going to beat me 9 times out of 10. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So that's why I think the analysis is good, but I don't think the analysis is as deep unless they bring in a different form of... like, when you get to Division 1, you're only playing Division 1 players. And even at that, there's a lot of people in Division 1, man, that don't know how to super cancel because the game is so assisted. That's what I'm saying, Lucas. Like, I know you're good at the game, bro. That's what I'm saying. If I was playing you in a best of 3 and it was actually, right, let's plan this. Let's have a best of 3, right? Like, we're both going to nullify each other. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You have a different mindset for it. You have a different mindset. Like, if I'm playing a player that I know is good at the game and I know is actually capable, and you know that you're not going to have a load of space, that's when you need to change, because you see it in games here. Like, I've beaten guys that have been number 1 in the world. I've beaten guys that are rank 6. I've beaten rank 10. I've beaten rank 2. But I've also lost to like rank 1, rank 10, rank 50,000. And the main problem with losing is you're just not prepared for it. You're not set up. You have a bad matchup. You've the wrong players in the wrong position. And you're coming up against somebody that is either on a streak, is in their flow, or you just come up against somebody that's better than you. And that happens, man. There's always somebody better than you. This is a good squad, but I would say that the problem with it is, unless you are super, 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 super comfortable, that's what I was just about to say. When people use left or right midfielders, they leave space. Sorry for invite, didn't mean to. That's okay, bro. That is the biggest problem with a 3 at the back, is that you're playing out wide, man. You are going to be as open as Bonnie Blue on a Saturday night with Collar on the hunt. And that's why I would be, look, this is what I would be doing if I matched up against you in eFootball League and I'm on fire. Chicken wings with barbecue sauce, bro, because I would just literally spread it out, man. I would spread out the play and I would hold the ball. Now, I've no doubt that you're a good player, but I would definitely look to tighten the gap. I mean, it could be as simple as just putting man marking on Jordi Alba and Cancelo when you're in a game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but that's the thing, Gary. Like, if I'm playing you, man, like, if I'm playing you, I'm not playing, like, if I'm playing a friendly match, and that's why I said, man, against Lucas, you know what I mean? And that's why we were having the crack and having the banter. But, like, do you know, like, if I'm playing, there's a big difference between me playing Lucas going on with Collar up front and, you know, like, not my starting 11, compared to actually playing Lucas in a best of 3, where we're saying, like, right, okay, let's play a best of 3, an actual best of 3. Like, there's a big difference. It's the same way if I was playing in a tournament. I'm not going to be rocking up with Collar and, you know, Pussy on the bench. Do you know what I'm saying? It just wouldn't happen. And I probably wouldn't play out wide. I might have a sub tactic. Never reach Div 1. It doesn't matter, man, if you never reach Div 1. Like, Div 1 is Div 1, bro. Div 1, I think, unless you are winning 20 games in a row, most people that are playing in Div 1 are literally playing for thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, man. Yeah, but Lucas, honestly, man, we have the crack, we have the banter, and like we do. But like, I know that you're an excellent player at the game. You know what I mean? I know that you're a fantastic player. But even you could, like, the difference, I think, between setting up against a good player, between setting up against a bad player, it's just miles apart. Like, I'd be playing matches sometimes where you're 2-0 up and you can start doing your tricks and you can start doing your finesse. You can start, listen, you can start dancing on opponents, man. Dancing on opponents. But you will not dance on a similarly skilled opponent that is set up correctly and that is adapting to what you're doing and taking away what you're doing. Like, if I'm playing somebody after the first half, I know exactly their attack patterns. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Rock Chalk. I've played Rock Chalk before. We've drawn, we've lost, we've beaten each other, whatever, okay? I've played Rock Chalk before, and I know Rock Chalk likes to hold onto the ball and dribble. He likes his super cancel. He likes to do his ball rolls. He likes his dribbling. He likes this, he likes that, right? He likes his drag backs and his cut backs and his... Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, we can turn him into Pebble Chalk when we start dancing and Collar comes to the party. Because a lot of it, like, is about playing to your strengths and being able to hold the opposition enough to play to your strengths and then go from there. Axel, I'm good, bro. Ahmed, welcome in as well. Estevao is good, yeah. Estevao is good. Big Lads FC, yeah, that's us. Big Lads FC. Caesar, did I play ya? I hope I gave you a little... Mommy! But honestly, that's what it is. That's why I keep saying like that. If you have a setup that works for you, it's only half of the way. And most top players will tell you, man. They will tell you that. And also, I will say this as well, right? I will say this as well. there's a lot of extremely brilliant players at this game that can go on 50 win streaks, that can score 5 goals a game every game, right? But I will say there's a massive gap between actually winning an esports event and playing. And a lot of the time, people that have the talent and have the skill set and have everything in the head and have everything on the fingers, the difference in the separator between it is actually the setup that they have when they're playing against an opponent, and that they like get into their head, or a bit of luck applies as well, of course. But I literally, man, like when I've done commentary and I've done the analysis gigs before, like I've seen the esports guys actually like playing off camera, like, do you know what I mean? Where they're literally just in the green room or they're in the testing area and they're playing and whatever. And they're playing the game at a different level, man. Do you know what I mean? Like offline. There's no lag, there's no input delay. It's literally multiplayer offline, the same console. Like they're just practicing in the chill out zone, you know? And they're playing the game at such a high level, man, that you're just kind of like looking at it. It's like they're not doing anything that, you know what I mean? They're not doing anything that's like not available for me or you to do. But it's the same way as you could take a football out to the back garden, and Leo Messi could take a football out to the back garden. And like the difference in what he can do with the ball compared to what you can do with the ball, even though the variables are the same, like it's just night and day, that you could never get to Messi's level. It doesn't matter if you practice for 1,000,000 hours, you would still might never get to his level. There is that separator of just class, you know what I mean? And yeah, it is time, Lucas, it is time. It is, man. I remember when I was back in PES 14, 15, 16, like PES 16, I was in college. I literally was staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning playing the game. Like always in the top divisions, always in the top weekly ratings back in the old My Club days as well. Top 5, top 3, top 2, top 1. And that was back in the days, man, on Xbox. I used to play. And I was playing, genuinely, man. I was probably playing back in the day, I would say minimum 40 hours a week. Now, that is the truth. I was playing PES more than I was in college. That is a fact, man. I was a bum. I was living at home with my parents, and I did nothing but go to college and drag my arse in there whenever I needed to. Obviously, I was playing a bit of footy at the time as well, and gym and all that. But it was literally, man, I could have college at 10 a.m. and I would be up playing PES till like 4:30 in the morning. Go to bed at 5, get 4 hours sleep, 5 hours sleep, get up, be late for college, and did that for about 2 years. Because it's just different times, man. You're talking about, you know, when you're in your 20s. So, yeah, man, it's just like that, man. No, Lucas was never a pro. No, bro, I don't think Lucas was ever a pro. Listen, man, there's levels to it, right? There's good people, right? There's good players at this game. There's great players at this game. There's unbelievable players at this game. There's esports winning money level players at this game. And then there's aliens. That's what it is, man. There's 5 tiers. But it's okay, man, not to hit certain tiers. Like, if you're happy playing the game, you just need to play the game. Then there's the Irish big schlong tier that's only got a population of 1. Me. No, but honestly, it's... I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking. Like, I'm an average player at the game. If I set my mind to it, yes, can I compete with the best of the best? Yeah, I can. But I'm never going to be winning esports tournaments, man. But then 99.9% of people that play this game aren't either. It doesn't matter if you're qualifying for events and getting knocked out in the first round or the final. Like, I still have as many tournaments won and trophies won as anybody else that hasn't won one. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, listen, I do like this analysis thing. I do like a lot of the stuff that Konami are doing. But I do feel as well that, you know, there's a lot of generic stuff in this as well. Press with multiple players. You haven't crossed once today. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, exactly, Jutinho. Exactly. I would say the best player I've ever played was probably... It's hard to say, man, because there's been a good few people that have given me a good spanking. I'm trying to think, I've played a lot of people offline, not streaming, like actually offline. I've played a lot of people, man, that are really, really good at the game. It's hard to say. I'd have to have a think about it. Now, this also says, lads, smart assist. 91% of people are in Division 1 are using it off. 25% in Division 4 are using it. And 13% in Division 3. Do you believe that? I think I've beaten Maldini, and Maldini has beaten me before. I think they were close games, though, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe this smart assist data now. That's the one. Defensively and attacking, I do. We need a cheating analysis. What do you think of that, lads? 9%. I don't know, man. That sounds like it's very low. How many people are in Division 1? Yeah, but Lucas, I've beaten Eliso before. I've beaten Momo before. I've beaten a lot of people before, man. But it's like I've beaten Momo before, and he's been, he was rank 1 a couple of days ago. He's rank 6 now. Phenomenal player. But like I've also lost to people that are literally like never topped 50,000 in the world. I'm telling you, it's matchup. There's so many variables with the game now. So many variables. Hold on a second, man. What was I going to check in here? Oh yeah, how many points do you need for Div 1, lads? 1,800, isn't it? The old Neymar from the penalty challenge. The Santos Neymar. I can, bro. I can. Is it 1,800, lads, for... Is it 1,800, lads? No, it's not stupid to use 2 Fox in the box. If you want to use 3 Fox in the box, use them. Well, I would say, I was just about to say, there probably isn't more than 500 people. Okay, so we have about maybe 700 people that are in Division 1. Lucas, we will get a... Lads, I'm going to do a stream, right? And the stream is going to be me playing you guys. We'll do best of 3s, ultimate squads. Literally, will be a different vibe in the stream. We'll literally actually play proper. We'll play proper hardcore esports mode. No messing, no banter, no bullshit. Just literally starting 11 versus starting 11. Sub tactics. Like literally Elden Ring style gameplay. I just need to pick a time to do it and get in the zone. Because at the moment, man, I'm literally just looking for a bit of crack in the streams. But I'm talking literally like diehard, like Elden Ring style mode, man. Literally having the banter that way. But from a competitive point of view. Not like, we'll play a stream as well where we play against you guys. Maybe next Friday we'll do that. All right, so we're talking about maybe 700 people. Okay, so we're talking about 628 people, lads, are here. Yeah, I think if you've cracked top 1,000, Lucas. I think if you cracked 1,000, top rank in 1,000, that would probably be the variable. Can I do Delict's training? I will show you Delict's, yeah. So you're talking about out of 628 players, right? You're telling me that 10% of them in Division 1 are using Smart Assist. So you're telling me that out of that, what's that? 628. That's 63 people, lads, are using Smart Assist. I don't believe that now, personally speaking. I am a data-driven guy, lads. I do data in my real life. It's my real life outside of eFootball. But I honestly don't know. I don't see how that could be true, man. Especially in Division 2. Whatever about Division 1, because it's such a small pool of players. 93% of people in Division 2 not using Smart Assist. I mean, yesterday in the stream alone, we literally played 4 people 100% using Smart Assist. And there was 1 or 2 iffy. I thought I smelt a little something off with them, but it mightn't have been. It might have just been in my head, looking for excuses as I usually do. Now, we still won the games. I think the only game we didn't win was in our free-to-play. But yeah, between yesterday and today, no, Chris, I do believe it in a way, man. If they like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to deny it, because I just said I do data in real life, and it is like, so I do trust the data, but I find it hard to believe that it's only 60 people in Division 1 using it, just based on what I've played myself. Because even yesterday, I played, like, go back and watch Thursday's stream and go back and watch yesterday's stream. You're talking about, it's not 9% of people I was playing. It's not 18. It's not 20. It's not 30. It's not 40. It was 50% of people I played in both streams, Thursday and Friday. Not saying it's an issue. You can still beat Smart Assist. They might be switching it on. You think so? What would you say is an actual realistic figure? Because the attack and shift instructions looks legit. And I would say that the defensive shift looks legit as well. I don't know, Gary. That's a great question, yeah. Dibs is at least 50. Has to be 40. 50-50, Egyptino says. 60 says Lucas. 60 says the GOAT. No way 60, says Chris. Chris, what would you think that it is, bro? Like, let's just forget about this page, like, for a minute, right? And obviously, we are discarding actual data here that they're saying, right? So that's grand. We'll take that as gospel. But let's just play devil's advocate. Let's just say, if you were to play devil's advocate, man, based on your play time, and somebody that uses Smart Assist and is open about Smart Assist, which I do respect, and I do, respect you as a person, what would you think that it is? Thank you, Zafi. Thank you, bro. What would you think that it is, bro? Honestly, I'm not having a go or anything. I'm just genuinely curious. So there's Neymar, and here is De Ligt. These are the bills. 0, 0, 0, 0, 5, 4, 13, 0. That's 1. Santos Neymar. Absolute demon, man. Is Santos Neymar the best ever free card? In this guy's opinion, yes. I think so. He's just fucking beast. Now, you could go a 90 build with these two, but then you're going to not have 90 attack and awareness, which you need. Costa Corta says hello. Yeah, he's a beast as well. I would probably say my tier list of free cards ever, being legit. I would probably say Cannavaro, Neymar, Costa Corta, Tony Adams, Kante. Jordan Henderson, man, is beast for me. Yeah, Kante is definitely there as well. Costa Corta. Yeah, Cannavaro, I think, has to be there. Batistuta. Bebeto is a beast as well. Rijkaard. Yeah, Rijkaard. There's been a lot of free players. I think that's probably what we'd go with, lads. A 95. Yeah, that's the build now I'd go with. 100%. You could take one off shooting as well. And put, what, 3 into passing? You could do that too if you wanted to. That's going to... Oh, sorry, I put it into the wrong stat there, lads. 1 sec. Or did I? No, that's 70 passing. Yo, Chris, thank you, brother. I say let's wait till the end of the season to really see the percentages because I trust these stats, but I think they should add to analysis who uses Smart Assist or not. That's the build for Santos. Del Piero, that's him done, bro. 9, 3, 15, 4, 8. Isco, the free Isco. Free Isco's only okay now. I wouldn't be getting carried away. I wouldn't be leaving the wife for Isco now, lads. I'll be honest with you. He's all right, like. Who uses Sat or not? Sat or not? Let me see what I change anything to this build. Potentially. No. I wouldn't. .88 speed, 91 acceleration. Yeah, I'm happy with that. 0, 6, 4, 13, 12, 0, 0, 0. I've already done Cannavaro, bro. Lads, this is a card I never really got on with Shevchenko, and he used to be one of my favorite PES players ever. Yeah, that's not a bad shout, Lucas. I don't have Benucci. That's Cannavaro's build. 0, 0, 0, 3, 9, 5, 13. Yeah, imagine if the coach said your opponent is using Smart Assist, so make sure this, and that. That would be cool. That's Yamal that I've kind of stayed with Yamal for the same. 10, 0, 8, 10, 10, 0, 0. No, Tobias, is impossible at the moment. There's no cross progression. This Shevchenko, lads, do you guys rate him? Obviously, we still have to give him a booster. We haven't given him a booster. But if I was giving him a booster, I probably would give him ball carrying. And that's going to bring up everything perfect. Yo, Paul, what's up, bro? Weak foot accuracy is very high as well. Ooh, I like that. His weak foot accuracy is Snoop Doggish. Very high. I don't have the old one, I don't think, bro. No, I don't have any other Shiva. No, boys, I'm Crusader Paul, what are you saying? Double or nothing on the next game? Really? Double what do you mean? Double what? Double trouble? You owe me a score. Well, OC, welcome in, bro. Lads, we did it. We did that test earlier, and I genuinely don't think that there's that much of a difference between the tall and the small. I don't think that there's a big difference between the players anymore. Especially the speed. All right, we'll do one game, lads, and then I'm going off. I want to get off, man. I'm tired. And I want to chill out for the rest of the evening. And I need to spend some time with the missus as well. City are 3-0 up, lads. Liverpool and Leeds are playing as well, are they? Chelsea drawn. City up 3. Ruben Diaz, Gavardiel, and Foden. So that means City go top of the table, baby. Oh, no, they're not. They're still 2 points behind. What am I saying? Aston Villa. Forgot that Aston Villa won today. What was the Villa game like, lads? 2-1. Oh, Bundia scored in the last second. Tottenham winning 2-0 as well. Let me see what this guy's rocking, lads. Now, we're testing out a new formation here, which is a 3... It's a quick counter, 3 at the back. Let's see. Let's see if we're caught for pace in this game. I don't think we will be. It was a good game, Gary, yeah? Villa are good, man. I watched Villa the other day. They were very good. Hopefully in the new year, I'll be able to play on mobile, bro. I'll have a bit more free time. Shit, where's my phone? When I was younger. I do think the new AFCON license will be good, yeah? All right, let's play this one, lads, and dip. I've streamed a lot this week, so I hope you guys have enjoyed the streams. This will bring us to around the 3-hour mark. I haven't bought any World Cup jerseys yet, but I will. If you guys want to buy any jerseys, man, we do have a sponsor. Okay, I'm motivated now to beat this guy, lads, and put him to bed because I'm actually quite tired. Here's Cannavaro versus Messi. Only one winner. Ooh, ref! And I don't feel no remorse. You. Okay, this guy's not too bad. No, that's easy, baby. I'm defending that since I came out with a womb. Come on now. Is he man marking? It's a bad pass, lads. It's better though. Is he man marking Shevchenko, lads, or what's going on? I've got eyes everywhere. I'm off. Yo, Paul, brother, thank you for the super chat, man. I'm motivated to beat this. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Give your GGs, man. Give your GGs. Thank you, man. I might get a takeaway tonight now with that money. Thank you, bro. I might get a snack box today, man. Go on, Shiva. It's a great run, lads. It's a dangerous run. Chop turn. Didn't work. Don't tempt me with a KFC now. I usually only get KFC once a year, lads. Which is at Christmas time. This guy's not a bad player, you know. Good save. Good, strong, powerful legs. We've got the space. We've got the blitz. Should have doubled it for the divs win. Oh, man. I would have played divs today, earlier in the stream. But, like, this was just a really chill-out stream. And I definitely wasn't in the mood for divs. Especially spicy divs. Boom! Oh, baby! Let's go. Yo, Gary, thank you, brother. We'll be bouncing after this one. And then I'll be bouncing onto the missus. Yupper that! Stop it now. Behave yourself. Thank you, Gary. Enjoy your weekend, bro. I hope you're feeling better as well, man. I know you weren't feeling the best. It's lovely, lads. It's lovely play, lads. Shiva. Oh, he's out of position. He's going to have to foul me here. Terrible pass, Yamal. I think Yamal has been one of the most disappointing players for me, lads, in the last couple of weeks. Oh, it's beautiful finish. Smart assist finish, though. Oh, KFC is the GOAT, man, for me. I don't eat much takeaway, lads. I'll be honest. I don't actually eat much takeaway. Oof. Nice. This is the problem with quick counter, lads. You are a little bit exposed at the back. Don't overthink it, buddy. Just pull the trigger. Don't be afraid of it. Because I tell you, I'm going to pull the trigger the minute I get it. It's only events. Oh. Weird possession there. One of the rare ones, yeah. Oh, I want this guy to think I'm spamming, man. And I kind of am spamming, so I'm double bluffing him, I suppose. Pele with a backwards through the middle nuts. I should have just buried that, man. I'm just chilling. Isco's good. I like Isco. He's really good. for a freebie. I mean, he's competing quite well against this guy's squad. Ooh, good block from Koyman. I call him Koyman, like a koi fish. Nice, George. Enjoy your sleep, brother. Why is that so slow, man? Oh, my days. Nice. GG's, man. GG's. I need to build up upcoming Maldini. We'll do a Maldini video. I'll have it up for Monday, definitely. This guy's afraid of playing, man, honestly. Am I off? No, it's a good goal. Good, now let's win this. Let's win it, Gasparini. Good lad. Oh, Shevchenko. Ah, we shouldn't have done that. I knew Cannavaro was going to cover his tracks. Come on, Yamal. Seriously, bro. Give me something, man. Honestly, man, Yamal is so bad. He's terrible, man. And what is going on with the goals that I'm conceding? Fucking hell. I just can't clear the ball. Yo, Sirasa 6. Welcome in, bro. You won't be getting Co-op League for Christmas. Yo, Mirza, what's up, bro? You don't celebrate Christmas? Well, I do, man. I do. We celebrate Christmas here. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Like, he's not doing anything, man, honestly.
Have a Guinness on me.
Yo, Paul, again, thank you, brother. Honestly, man, that's too much. Have a Guinness on you. Oh, Messi with the speed. Oh, we thought we'd get the rebound. We do. Well, that's the sort of game it's been, man. Lads, give your GGs to Paul. Paul, thank you, brother. Have a great weekend, man. Have a great weekend. That's the type of game it's been, lads, honestly. Messi with the blister and pace, but it's a joke goal. Save. This guy now wants a mouthful of grass. It's just so heavy, man, and it's so delayed or something. It's weird. Maybe it's not for him, but for me, it's very, very difficult match. Good ball, though. Yamal, do something. Oh, my God, Yamal, you are absolutely disgustingly bad. Oh, it was a dangerous one. Ferdinand, you have to make something on it. See how delayed it is, man. I couldn't even call the keeper. I literally couldn't call the keeper there, man. It's terrible, man. I don't know where this guy is playing from, but Jesus Christ almighty, the connection is unbelievably bad. It's not even laggy, man. It's just so heavy. I literally can't react quick enough. I can't close him down, man. Oh, what a goal. Shevchenko with the R3 flick, man. Honestly, man, the connection is desperate. Like, it's so bad. I was going to have to close this game down, man. I know it's only events, but I also don't want to lose to this guy. Look like. My whoop just told me I'm in the high stress zone. What, ref? The ball was there, brother. Shevchenko's runs are quite good, lads. True, Lucas. Finish him. Ooh. In my opinion, yes, Romario's probably the best finisher in the game. I'd be interested to see this guy's rating, lads. I have never really played with Shevchenko, but I might play with him a bit more there. He was beasting. Let me check that guy's rating, lads. What do you think it was? What do you think that rating was? It was very, very heavy for me. He was a good player, though. I'm not going to say he wasn't a good player. 981. Who's my mutual friend? King Iceman. Yeah, it was weird, man. It was a weird game. Just heavy. Just heavy. Just for you, Crusader Paul. Just for you, bro. Lads, that is it, man. That is it. I am off. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And we will be back on Monday. All right. Thank you, boys. Thank you to Crusader Paul there as well. Thank you for keeping me company, boys. We had Chris with the super chats as well. And Insidious with the $5. So I appreciate you guys. And we'll be back Monday. Peace.